And we are live. Hey everyone, this is Roberto Blake helping you create something awesome today. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about YouTube SEO and keyword research. We're going to talk about titles, descriptions, and tags. We're going to talk about whether tags really matter. We're going to show you some data. We're going to compare a 5,000 subscriber channel to a 500,000 subscriber channel when it comes to YouTube SEO and search. I have a wonderful guest joining me. It's going to be amazing. If you guys are watching this on the replay, definitely looking forward to your feedback in the comment section on all platforms. Right now, this live stream and deep dive YouTube SEO session is being brought to you by our good friends over at both StreamYard, the simplest streaming solution, which is allowing us to be on YouTube, Facebook Live, a Facebook group, a LinkedIn page, and on Twitter through Periscope, as well as YouTube, all at the same time. StreamYard really is the simplest solution for live streaming. So get it for free, link down below, or go to robertoblake.com/go/StreamYard. Thank you to them for being our sponsors. We're also going to be talking about TubeBuddy, another sponsor here, but this deep dive session isn't really about just using TubeBuddy. It's about the concept of YouTube keyword research, ranking your videos, what happens with the algorithm, how search and discovery really affects your channel in YouTube. And so we want to talk about that, but I do want to thank TubeBuddy for being our sponsor and helping bring you these live free trainings on the weekends. So really excited, but more importantly, let's go ahead and welcome my good friend and special guest, your boy, Vyyyper, the man about tech. How's it going, brother?
Yeah, boy. What's up, Roberto? How you doing, baby? We are back in the building again. What's up to all watching here live? We got 147 people in the building, so we are
and counting.
And counting, right? You're right.
Guys, share the stream. Let's break 200, 300. Let's get people in here because everyone wants to know how keywords work. Everyone wants to know how YouTube SEO works, ranking, all this stuff. And there's this myth that you need a bunch of subscribers to rank. I got somebody here who can contradict that. We also got some Clubhouse secrets to share with you guys. Yeah, Vyyyper's gonna tell us some fascinating stories about that. Remember, we are not doing YouTube channel reviews on today's stream, but we will take questions from the chat. We'll definitely take questions from super chats if you guys want to go ahead and do any of that. We do appreciate it. And Vyyyper, I appreciate you rocking the merch today, man.
Woo! Yeah, baby. We got the creator merch in the building. I had to.
Yeah, no, the creator hoodies are so comfortable, man. It's a little warm here today in the ATL, despite the rain. So not rocking mine. I'm going light today. I'm rocking my Kajabi t-shirt though. So yeah, but I do appreciate you wearing the merch, man, and representing. Anyone who wants a creator hoodie, I believe they're in the merch shelf or link down below. But Vyyyper, you got to talk to a YouTube employee.
I did, yeah.
A friend of mine, Todd, over at the YouTube search and discovery team. So you got to have some really interesting conversations with him. And y'all also got to talk about YouTube's restricted mode, which we covered the last time you were on the program. And we actually, in real time, were reviewing a channel that had been restricted. And we saw, we talked about how restricted mode could impact YouTube channels. And so I'm just really curious about the conversation you and Todd had last night about YouTube search and discovery and about restricted mode especially. Really interested. Again, guys, share the stream. Share the stream.
Oh, man. So, yeah, I don't know. Anybody that's a YouTube creator, you guys understand just how difficult it is to talk to a human being at YouTube. But I was fortunate enough last night. I was hosting a Clubhouse room called the Tech Super Lounge. I hosted every Saturday night. And somehow, some way, somebody from YouTube ended up in the room. So we had them on stage. We were asking them questions about how YouTube works, how the algorithm works, things like that. It was amazing. So the thing that he told us about the algorithm is that likes, comments, and all that stuff doesn't really matter. What matters most is the same thing that Mr. Beast has been saying for a while now. What YouTube wants is for people to click on your video first and foremost. But once they click on your video, YouTube wants them to watch the entire video all the way through. And then when they're done watching that video, YouTube wants you to get them to watch another video, either from you or somebody else, preferably you. But YouTube wants to keep people on the platform. They want people watching as many videos as possible. And if you can achieve that, that is when YouTube will start highly recommending your content on the platform. And that is the secret sauce, if you will, to growing your YouTube channel. It's all about getting people to watch as many videos as possible and get them to watch for as long as possible and keep them watching. I think what Roberto called it, like a binge session or something like that. But you want to keep people watching as much as possible, and then YouTube will start to recommend your channel.
Yeah, you want those bingeable sessions. You want, higher overall viewer behavior, and you want predictability from your community. And that's really the key, is building community and building a reputation and word of mouth. You can't rely on YouTube to distribute your videos to just your subscribers. We already know every creator here has probably looked at their analytics and knows that their views aren't necessarily coming from their subscribers. I mean, that myth, that's not been a YouTube thing for forever. So it's almost like, I'm not gonna say subscriber counts don't matter, because they have relevancy and they're great for your brand. And it's great to feel heard and seen, and to know that you served people, right? But for distribution, for views, that subscriber feed, people don't use it. People don't use the subscribe feed, hardly. It's really down to that homepage and recommendations and search. Like, we know that that's a thing. And so I just thought that was super interesting. Vyyyper, like, tell us a little bit about the issue with restricted mode. Like for one thing, brief the people who are unfamiliar with restricted mode. We might even show them later here in the show, but like, tell them what YouTube had to say about that, because they rarely ever even acknowledge restricted mode as an issue.
Ooh, okay, so restricted mode is like the YouTube boogeyman. It's interesting, because if you are not getting the views that you think you should be getting, or you feel like something is not going right with your channel, there's a small possibility it's because your videos have hit something called restricted mode. Now, as it was explained to me last night, this is in place to like safeguard from people consuming bad content, including profanity, graphic stuff, just things that would not be allowed for the everyday folk. A lot of it takes place in like hospitals, where there are, in some schools and some hospitals and things like that, they don't even allow YouTube on their network. So YouTube has restricted mode in place to try to combat this, so YouTube can be viewed everywhere. The problem with YouTube restricted mode is that the filter is so strong that a lot of times it catches the bad content and the legitimate content in the mode too. So for pretty much all of 2020, my entire channel was buried in restricted mode. Every time I uploaded a video, it automatically went to restricted mode. Luckily, for Roberto Blake helped me figure out what was going on with it. And when I found out what it was, I tried to figure out how could I appeal this restricted mode thing. So luckily, there's a forum on Google or whatever where you can go to submit videos to be appealed to get them removed from restricted mode. I got so fed up one day that I went to this forum and I submitted 8 videos in a row, back to back to have them viewed for appeal. Luckily, whoever was looking at the videos that day, they ended up removing all of those videos I submitted from restricted mode, and at the same time, they ended up removing my channel from restricted mode. So finally, here at the very end of 2020 and now into 2021, you can now search my channel when restricted mode is enabled. Now, the thing about restricted mode is that only 1% of the entire viewership of YouTube actually engages it. So you would think it's not a big deal with those stats. But the problem with restricted mode is that even though only 1% of the entire platform engages it, if any of your videos hit that restricted mode filter, the algorithm will automatically suppress it regardless. And that is the problem.
And so when you were talking to Todd, I know he didn't say the actual words, but he did mention that if a video or a channel does end up being classified as restricted mode, that there are issues. Like, what was that conversation like with them acknowledging it?
So so Todd had kind of broke down to me like what I just told you guys about how videos end up in restricted mode, things like that. And I was like, Todd, I get it. That's fine. But the problem is, as I just told you guys, a lot of legitimate content that is fair and PG and brand friendly ends up in restricted mode. And Todd was like, yep, that's the case, because a lot of times, even though, like I said, only 1% of the entire viewership of YouTube actually engages it, when the algorithm deems that a video is going to go to restricted mode, it will kind of submit that it will percolate that information throughout the entire platform thereby suppressing that video. So if you upload
yeah, it's basically gating it at that point. In fact, actually, I think it would help if we show rather than tell. I'm not even sure that any of Sniperwood's content is going to hit restricted mode. She's a top tier creator and has been around forever. She's got 25 million subs, but I just want to test something. I want to at least show people how you get the restricted mode. So whether you're signed in or whatever, you go to your settings. I'm not signed in. I'm in incognito. So we could do a clean test on YouTube search, because I want to show you guys a lot of YouTube search stuff and we want to talk about that. But if I go to where it says restricted mode off and I click restricted mode on, a reset happens. Now, I don't think actually a couple of Sniper Wolf's videos did end up disappearing when I did that. But, you know, she's still such a huge creator that I don't think it ended up having like a major impact or nothing. But if I go ahead and if I turn restricted mode off, like I think so some videos came back.
Yep.
So again, she's such a massive creator though, and she has a loyal fan base that I doubt the impact to her would be that significant. But you literally saw it yourself. The screen changed and like I think like 2 or 3 videos disappeared.
Yep. That amazing thing you have never seen before, that one hit restricted mode.
Exactly. So like restricted mode is real. Like, you know, and I'm glad YouTube acknowledged it. And I'm glad that you were able to get confirmation. I mean, we already knew that, but us saying it and then us showing it the last time we were doing channel reviews and showing a creator that, hey, whatever we were going to review or talk about your channel, we need to fix this issue first, and like talking about it. And so that's real and it matters. And the thing is, it could be undermining, you know, a person's channel. You know, even Legal Eagle and Dr. Mike have had, you know, stuff like that happen. Like if I go to Legal Eagle's channel, I click on videos, right? And then, you know, let me zoom out so that we get a better kind of sense of like a change here. So, okay, this is it now. Let's go to restricted mode and see what happens. And again, let's just double check, because I want you to guys just kind of have a mental screenshot or even a regular screenshot of kind of a before here. And then let me show you after. All right, so before, and then we turn restricted mode on. Oh, wow, we see the position change. So we saw the position change, so we know that it changed. We know something happened. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
So even established channels with over 1 million subscribers can get like some videos hit by restricted mode, and so they wouldn't get the views that they're supposed to get or be searchable or things like that. So I mean, it can be. Now again, this is where having a loyal community that will just show up for you and just go to your channel and click on videos and watch things or watch things back to back. The real problem is that when a video hits restricted mode, I don't think it's surfaced in things like suggested.
Correct. The algorithm, it's definitely not surfaced in search, but I imagine if it's not searchable, it's probably not suggested either.
I agree. And so I think that it being taken out of the suggested algorithm, I think that happened to a couple of people. I mean, I'll name them just because I believe that if they ever said that they, like, I don't think their issue is being shadow banned per se, but something did happen to their channel. So the thing is, if you ever hear, and again, this is not an endorsement of anybody's content or anybody's character or anything like that, but if you ever hear Keemstar or a commentary channel or a news channel or a political channel, whether it's left-leaning or right-leaning, or there are other creators like Gabby Hanna who have said something weird is going on with their channel, don't think that they're making it up, regardless of whatever their shenanigans or habits have been in the past or your biases against them. Understand that we're talking about a platform issue that affects content creators, and it could be people that you like, it could be people you don't like, it could be people like Devin, it could be people like Dr. Mike, it could be commentary or news channels, it could be anyone, whether their political views are left-leaning or right-leaning. There are any number of triggers that flip the switch for restricted mode, and some of it is not even you cursing. Vyyyper, you had an issue where your channel was being translated to Dutch or something.
Yeah, Dutch.
Like your captions were in Dutch. Captions were in Dutch,
man.
And then Daniel Battelle, he had a thing that flagged that had a word he really didn't say that was in the captions, and it's like, what the hell? And like they had to manually do the captions. So just understand that there are issues, and it's not a shadow ban, it's just this other problem. I don't like calling it a shadow ban because that's not what's happening, you know. But I feel like this is a technical issue, and I want to address it at the top of the hour because I feel like this is like the most interesting thing we could talk about before we get into the technical nitty-gritty of step-by-step SEO, because it's a problem if you do everything right, but your videos aren't even being surfaced or served in the algorithm. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely.
Because then it might not even be that you're doing anything wrong.
Right.
And I think that's what frustrates people.
And there's no way to like avoid restricted mode. If the algorithm feels like you've done something wrong, you're going there. It's nothing that we can do as creators to avoid it. And that's the big problem.
Yeah, at best it can be corrected later, but then you have to fight back, and by fight back, I mean you have to push content, to get, traction and surface. So it's like, and I'm not saying all your effort up to that point was wasted. It's just that it was never allowed to have its full potential. It was crippled.
Yeah, I've been dealing with it for like a whole entire year, so I completely understand.
And see, you were wondering why some people were also put growing ahead of you, but you didn't even have access to the suggested or search algorithm. So how are you going to do as well as other people in your niche when you literally aren't in suggested and you aren't in search? It doesn't even matter how good you make content if that's the case.
Exactly.
So and to that point, I actually want to bring up your channel, Vyyyper, because I want to, first of all, you are in search once again. Let me see if I can share your, actually I have to move to, here we go. Yeah, so you are in search now, whereas before, you wouldn't even show up under your channel name in search, and some of your videos certainly wouldn't,
Right.
So that's a whole thing. Now, your channel with 5,000 subscribers, you've had videos, if I search by most viewed, you've had videos that have gotten tens of thousands of views. And some of this was when you were even a smaller channel. So I don't want people to think that you can't succeed just because of subscriber count. And we already know that that's not really the part of the algorithm that would matter anyway, Can
you organize that by newest real quick?
Yes, I can, sir. What's good? Oh, here's YouTube Shorts. Oh, I guess some of your videos might be in restricted mode because it seems like you haven't even uploaded a video for a month. Jesus Christ.
What the hell? What?
Yeah, you might need to appeal some stuff, Vyyyper. Jesus Christ. See,
wow.
in real time, we just made a point. Because look, if I turn off restricted mode, see, y'all, we're not even playing. See, look at that. Vyyyper's been uploading for a month.
Oh my God.
And these videos, the views aren't bad. They're not abnormal for you, but maybe these videos could have done better because look at that. We turn restricted mode back on. And it's like he ain't been doing anything all month.
What the?
See?
Unbelievable.
That's insane. We just showed y'all live. See? Breaking news. Check your channel and see if you're going through this. I mean, Jesus.
Wow.
Vyyyper, how do I get to the appeal for when this happens?
Okay.
Do you have to do it on your channel, or do you have to go to YouTube's website? What do you do?
No, there's a I'll post the link in the private chat, but there's a link that I go to. I have a bookmark, thank God, because
because of this.
Yeah. So I'm gonna put it in the private chat for you, and then you do that what you will. But if you go to that link that I put in the private chat, and scroll down to the bottom, there's a form that you can fill out. And the cool thing is that they let you submit up to 20 video, which I didn't notice until the other day. You can submit up to 20 video for review. So I think I'll be using that very quickly.
Vyyyper, you have let's see. Actually, I'll post. All right, so I'm going to post this in the chat. I'm going to post this in the live YouTube chat. If you hit restricted appeal here, and this is a support Google link, guys. So this is a legit link. This isn't any kind of spam link or scam link. Just gotta let y'all know. But yeah, if you look here, there's the bottom form here that you'd be able to fill out restricted mode feedback, and there's a channel URL, a video URL. Yeah, this is crazy, man, that it's actually happening to you right this moment. And again, the videos that aren't in restricted mode, like your YouTube Shorts thing, this got some good views, man. This got some good views. You had some stuff here with some good views. But your newest content, it's gone. It's
okay. So let me tell you something that's freaking me out right now.
Mm-hmm.
So when I go to my channel page on YouTube, obviously I'm logged in with myself and things like that. But when I go to my channel page and I go to my video page, if I turn restricted mode on, all of my videos show up.
I'm in incognito mode, man. You know that incognito mode is kind of like the best litmus test.
Right, but shouldn't
no, because it might be browser cached.
Oh my God! Wow. Oh boy. Okay.
Might be browser cached.
Very interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So again, to check if you're in restricted mode, you go to your settings. I'm in incognito, so you'll have to click on your own icon to go to your settings or whatever. Then you scroll to this thing that says restricted mode off. You toggle to turn it on, and then you'll see exactly what we've got like going on here.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Yup.
Yeah. But what I do want to demonstrate, and I'm just going to turn it off now. What I do want to demonstrate is I want to demonstrate that I believe, and I haven't tested this in advance, but I believe that some of your more popular videos, can rank in search, and that your channel size, doesn't have anything to do with it. So if I go to if I type in iOS 14 Smart Stack widget, you probably rank at some point. Oh, there's Vyyyper. Look at that. He's the second ranked video. And again, I'm in incognito mode, guys. So literally this is the most legitimate test there is. The only thing I could do to make it more legitimate is grab my other laptop that's never logged into my YouTube channel and VPN into another state or some crap like that is the only way I can make this test more legitimate. But here's Vyyyper as the second ranked video if I type in iOS Smart Stack widget. Now that's a very specific niche thing, but he's an Apple channel, and it's not like there haven't been channels that get views off of that. So he's in here competing with some heavy hitters, and he's the second ranked video. So you can clearly rank in YouTube search, even if you're not a large subscribed channel. Your videos just have to be relevant and they have to perform. And then you'll notice that basically the stuff that ranks here has it in the title, and generally it would have it in the description. Now some people don't, but in general, whenever you want something to rank well in search, and I'm really curious, I wonder what would happen if right now, because I have this live stream going, I wonder if my live stream's ranking. I'm just gonna check. My live stream is already ranking because I already pre-optimized for YouTube SEO. My live stream is already ranking.
There you go.
My live stream is ranking number 3 for YouTube SEO right now. With 300 plus of y'all watching. The live stream is ranking. We just proved something to y'all in real time. I don't even know if anyone's ever done that live before. Vyyyper. I'm not even sure if anyone's ever done that live. Showed that their live stream is ranking while they're live. I'm not sure anybody's ever done that. Is there any point to putting effort into SEO and keywords if my page has to be marked 18 plus for adult themes? Is there any advice you can give? First of all, I would just check if you're in restricted mode, because there's not I would want to resolve the issue of restricted mode before I move on to trying to rank if you have an 18 plus style channel. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Let's Gig It, for the $20 super chat. Appreciate you. And happy V-Day. If I haven't said it, happy Valentine's Day to all of you out there, and happy Single Appreciations Days to those of us who are forever alone. And anyway, so yeah. Just you guys will want to verify restricted mode. I don't want to make you guys super paranoid or super scared about that, but it's something you should be aware of, that almost nobody talks about. And there's not as much information out about it as there are other things that I would like. So like I said, though, look at, let's kind of think about what's going on, why my video is ranking here. My keyword YouTube SEO is the first thing in my title. Okay. And it's the first thing in the description. And then there are words that kind of go along with YouTube SEO, like YouTube and YouTube keyword research, video ranking, search engine optimizations in the description. These are all things that in a thesaurus kind of would be related together. They would kind of be things that are lumped together. So this is kind of important And I just showed you that on a video that hasn't had any real time to get traction. And it's a live stream and it's still ranked number 3. So, I mean, if that's not proof positive that SEO matters in terms of YouTube, then I don't know what is, because you literally have a video with almost 500,000 views from 3 years ago, a video last year from Catherine Manning with 60,000 views, Peter Lindgren with almost 40K views from 7 months ago, and my video that we're live streaming right now is in incognito mode, ranking up against them. We had Vyyyper's video that he's a small YouTuber with 5,000 subscribers, and he had the second ranking video for his topic. So I want you to understand that SEO and keywords matter, and they are real, and we just proved it to you in real time here live, okay? And we also proved to you what these things have in common. Like Catherine has YouTube SEO in her title, so does Peter, so is Brian Dean. Like, so the top ranking videos have the phrase that we searched for in the title itself, and so do almost every other video here. If we put in keyword research, I'm not even sure that my video will necessarily be there. Oh, there it is though. Keyword research, YouTube SEO and keyword research, but almost everything above me has keyword research as the first thing in the title. And a lot of them have it in the description. Notice that it's bolded in the description, just like a Google search, Vyyyper, back in the day when you were a small YouTuber and you were trying to grow your YouTube channel, like, did you believe in SEO and did you try to do search engine optimization from YouTube and rank videos?
Yeah, I always try to do it. Not only do that, sometimes I'll go out to Google and see what things are being searched on Google.com, because sometimes that can help out. That can help you rank as well.
Yeah, some people are saying that some of my videos are restricted too. It's like, yeah, I'm going to be appealing those. So yeah, I'm on it because, again, I don't pay as much attention to my views as people might think, but I could always use more of them, and I'm not going to sit here and not count the AdSense coppers or whatever. So, it's that kind of thing. But yeah, I think that when you look at exactly how this is happening, we typed in a phrase, and that phrase is mentioned in the description of a lot of the high-ranking videos, and it's in the title of those videos as well, usually at the front. And I find that makes a difference. And again, we already proved that you could be a small YouTuber and it doesn't matter. And even if your video doesn't get views, look at this video with 7.4K views. It's right there underneath Sean Cannell with 118,000 views, and it's above another video that has 116,000 views from vidIQ. So subscriber count doesn't decide ranking, and neither does view count. So we already just debunked that. And even a live video that's happening right now that doesn't have a lot of watch time, we've only been live for 27 minutes. So we don't even have a lot of watch time. So we don't have click-through rate. We don't have click-through rate, Vyyyper. We don't have click-through rate. We don't have watch time. We don't have any performance metrics other than the wonderful hundreds of people that are here on the live stream. And yes, we've been around 27 minutes, but Google and YouTube haven't even had the time with real-time analytics to kind of catch up to our performance metrics. So we know that what I did was an hour before the live, I prepped all the SEO for this, and then it was indexed and it was put into the algorithm. So we already know, and we've already proven here pretty early on, that titles, descriptions, and keywords in your tags matter, because we don't have views to compete. We don't have performance metrics to compete yet. All we have is the fact that we have relevancy, and we've told the algorithm for search that we're relevant. And it's not even our full, the first thing. We tried the first thing, YouTube SEO, and we ranked for that. We tried keyword research, and we ranked for that. Let's try video ranking and see what happens. And Vyyyper, while I'm doing that, like, what are your thoughts so far?
You bring up a good point.
Number one, baby. Number one. We can actually say we ranked the live stream number one for a term, and it's literally the third thing in our title.
If you really want to rank for a keyword or something like that, it will behoove you to have it in your title, your tags, and your descriptions. Again, as I keep telling people, YouTube algorithms is one big giant AI robot. The more information you give it, the better it can decide how to disseminate your videos and thereby rank your videos. So give it the most information it can handle, and let it do its thing. Let it do what it's gonna do.
I love this comment. Y'all, Roberto has helped me so much. He can be a pill, but he's smart AF. Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Okay.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I'll take it. Like, I'll take it. Yeah, I'm not for everybody. I'm an acquired taste, but I try to give you all the best information. You know, like I try to give you all the best information possible. I'm an acquired taste, and it's like, yeah, you know. But all of that said, again, to remind everybody, if you want to see what's going on with restricted mode, you go to your settings thing. You guys are going to have to click on your profile pic. I'm in incognito mode, and you go to this thing called restricted mode right here, and you toggle that on. You go to your channel, and you'll be able to see whether or not videos or your channel is restricted or not. So that's just another, because I see people in the chat still asking how to do it. We've literally showed you like 5 times, but I know some people are new on the stream, but we've showed you how to do that, and you can always check out in the replay exactly how to do that. So we've literally have seen, Vyyyper, that when you do the optimization of your titles, your description, and your tags and your keywords, that even if there are people who have more views, more subscribers, more watch time, more performance metrics, and I'm not saying that those things don't all matter when it comes to ranking in YouTube search, because I believe they play a role, especially with evergreen content, because you don't stay ranking forever. I'm a testament to the fact you don't stay ranking forever. But I do think that it's very obvious when we have a video that we've literally only had live for 30 minutes that I prepped an hour ago, ranking already in incognito mode, that it's very clear that YouTube SEO matters and that your titles, your descriptions, and your keyword tags matter.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you're first starting out on YouTube, you probably want to play the search game, because that's how you get your videos out there. Because you're not going to be, I don't know if you're going to be able to get suggested when you're first starting out that much. I mean, it's possible, but I think when you're first starting out, it's better to play the search game and then try to see what you can do with that.
It's entirely possible, because we showed it with my music channel's data that almost all of its traffic comes from suggested, but it's also that type of channel. There are types of channels that do better with different traffic sources. Tutorials will do better with search and suggested and being shared on websites and forums. A lot of people don't think about that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Music channels, suggested and homepage is probably not going to be searched that much. It's going to be suggested and homepage and people sharing it in communities and forums and playlists. That's what's going to be that, or even shout outs is going to be that. When it comes to a music channel, it's going to be word of mouth probably more than a lot of things, but it's also going to be the suggested algorithm, and the playlist algorithm is key for music channels. So like faceless channels, music channels, compilation channels, clips channels, it's going to be suggested, and it's going to be the homepage, people seeing, oh, I see that, or I like that music, and click. It's going to be that type of thing. But like a how-to or tutorial channel or a tech channel it can play all the games. A tech channel, you have a tech channel, Vyyyper. It's like, where's your traffic come from?
It's a split between search and browse usually.
It's usually between search and browse for you, so it's mostly like homepage and search.
Yep.
Not really hitting that good suggested just yet, huh?
I mean, as we've seen, the YouTube is trying to hold me down, so it's kind of hard to do that. But yeah,
that's fair enough. Fair enough. So what I want to look at now, and what I want to do is, I'm gonna use maybe a different tab instead of an incognito tab, because we'll need to use some of my tools to get a look at some things here. So what I'm gonna do is we need to look at, well, actually first we can look at under the hood of my channel. So let me go ahead and share a different screen here, and we'll look under the hood of my channel real quick. And the reason I want to do this is because I want to show you guys traffic sources, and I want to show you guys some things. So hang tight a second here. We'll just share a new screen, application tab, channel dashboard. Okay, so we're gonna go into my YouTube dashboard, and let's look at channel analytics and get a sense of traffic sources real quick. So we're gonna go to the reach tab. Now, what I've showed you guys in the past, this funnel here tells you basically how well you're doing with the YouTube algorithm. Like the bigger this number is for impressions, that's like really means you're getting some push, and you want to look at these sources. Now, browse features is doing really well for me. Suggested search used to be my number one, but that's just over the last 28 days. I believe a better indicator of what's happening with your channel is usually what's been happening for the last 90 days. I think that's usually more accurate. Or you could even look at, if you like, you know, are a crazy person like me, you can look at, well, what happens for the year? What's like, you know, more general. And you can see I kind of have a balanced channel. Like I can get suggested views, searches for in a year time, 365 days, search will be my number one, then browse, then suggested. But lately, because of the type of content I've been doing and the way I've been doing it, you know, search has been less and browse and suggested have been more, but that's also gotten me more views over the last 90 days, and it's really impacted the growth of the channel. So in order to grow, hitting these has really helped me. But when you're a smaller channel, search really helps you, because there's like nobody knows who you are yet, and they're not familiar with you, and they will pick somebody they're familiar with over you probably 9 times out of 10 when you're small, unless you knock it out of the park or you get a trend or something else happens. So YouTube search can be really vital. So when I look at these traffic sources, if we drill down into them by clicking the More tab, we get some more details here. But if I click on YouTube search, what happens is we can see the search terms for my channel, and we can show what people kind of associate me with. And then we can look at that like by how many views those searches led to. And so for me, obviously, in my case, I've been around YouTube a while, so my name is one of the first things there. But then like the money stuff, as far as passive income ideas, like, okay, my best performing video. That video on what is clickbait still gets people, and it's a short video, so it's not bad that it does that view duration, because I think the watch time on that's fine. It's an older video anyway, so I'm not that worried about it. And then you have Adobe Premiere stuff. This video on Adobe Premiere still gets searched, it still gets views, and it's a 4-minute video, I think. So like a minute and 29 seconds is actually pretty good, because it's like a 4-minute video, so that's actually decent. Because it's a quick tutorial. So like a lot of my stuff that's business related or even tutorial based is what gets searched, and that's not surprising. It doesn't give me the majority of my views, but it should be no surprise that I get a crap ton of views from searches on tutorial content or how-to content. You notice almost all these searches are how to do this, how to do that. So, or this thing for beginners, or even this product review I did of the HP Pavilion X360. So, I mean, when I show you this makes perfect sense, right, Vyyyper?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely makes perfect sense. It's always nice that we can go back into the back here and check out how things are working on the back end and understand where traffic is coming from and things like that. So yeah.
Yeah. Now, with that being said, I kind of want to show you like the back end of a recent video that's doing pretty well. I want to show you how I did the title, descriptions, and tags. Now, this is not a video that will be search friendly. This is a video that I designed to work more with being hitting people on the homepage, the sub feed, and even being shared in places like Twitter or Reddit. I designed this video with specific traffic sources in mind, not to rank, to be honest with you. I did not design this video to rank. However, I do believe that it got a decent SEO score, and I do believe that it has some phrases that rank. It ranks for my name. It ranks for something related. You know, the real job thing, streaming isn't a real job, Twitch isn't a real job, real jobs, you know, like rant.
No, Roberto, for a video that's not designed to rank, it's doing the exact opposite, dude.
Yeah, fair enough. But I want to show you the data on it. Let's show the analytics. Because again, its traffic is not going to be from search, I swear to you. But it's doing pretty well on views, and it's doing really well on watch time. It's doing decent on revenue. But let's look at where it's getting its views. It's getting its views traffic source wise from YouTube's recommendations. And see, I love that YouTube is showing this, how viewers found this video thing. They're about to start telling us whether we got returning viewers versus new viewers. I think that's going to be really dope when they start showing this. They're giving us so much data, dude. But like when it says that YouTube recommendations and it's saying homepage and next up, look at that, Vyyyper. It's 60% of the traffic. It's 60% of the views for this video. 59.7 is 60%. This is gold. This is telling me that, hey, you see those red blocks? That's where this video has the potential to appear, and that's where it's getting its performance. So that did really good. And this one activated subscribers. People rarely use the subscribe feed, but I got decent views from people from the subscribe feed and a little bit from notifications. Notifications didn't do that well for me. Think about it. I only got 1,000 views off notifications and 2,000 views off of subscription feed. So again, I'm not saying subscribers don't matter, but I want you guys to look at those numbers and think about that. For all the subs you might get, this is the reality of the impact they do or don't have on your overall channel. And then I want you to compare that to YouTube recommending you on the suggested and on the home page. Think about it. How valid is subscriber count when this is the data and this is the reality?
So when I was talking to the YouTube employee last night, he said the same thing that we've been saying now. Most views and things like that come from the homepage and the suggested. He says that subscriber count, nobody really doesn't use the subscriber feed much, and your data will go to show that.
And this is a recent enough video, because this video I think is like 2 or 3 days old. This is a recent, like, think about it. Look at this average view duration. This is a good video. This is a good video. Look at this. This line isn't perfect. It's still too much of a hockey stick for me, but it's like I got about 30% of people watching to the last 30 seconds of the video before my closeout. Like, and I had like 40% of the audience still watching 10 minutes into a 16-minute video, Vyyyper. That's a lot of watch time. That is a video the audience is feeling and is responding to and is resonating with.
And that is the reason why YouTube is recommending it, because as I told you guys earlier, if you want your content recommended, watch time and getting people to watch more than one video are the metrics that I have been told that will get your channel suggested and recommended more. And as Roberto was showing by his data in this video, because people are watching this video a lot, it's getting recommended a lot.
Look at that data. Look at the combined data when all browse features are tallied up, and then look at YouTube's algorithm pushing it when you look at the funnel. This funnel tells you everything you need to know about the YouTube algorithm. I swear to God, this is all you really need. If you understand this, you understand YouTube. Now, you may not be able to do anything about it. That's the thing that people don't understand. Knowing how YouTube works is not the same thing as being able to do anything about it. That's where the top tier creators excel, and why people like Mr. Beast do so well, because he understands the psychology of his particular audience enough, and his particular audience is the largest audience on YouTube, and that's not an accident either. My audience doesn't represent the largest audience on YouTube. Most of you in this chat, most of you watching this live stream, most of you are over 30. Most of you are over 30. Mr. Beast audience is under 20. And that's the biggest audience there is in YouTube. Is people under 20 is the biggest audience on YouTube. There absolutely is. So that's important. Middle school, high school, and college kids are the biggest audience in YouTube, and my content doesn't really cater to the far majority of those people. They will grow up and they'll age into my content and Gary V's content and so on, but it's not my audience. I can even show you that in analytics if you guys want, but it's just how it is. So of the people of the ages usually that watch my content between like 25 to 55 years old is like my sweet spot, with most of that being, people my own age or close to, people either 10 years older than me, so people in their 40s, or people in their late 20s, because I'm about to be 37. Like, that's who my audience is. So when we look at this and we look at what's happening here, it really just came down to a lot of the algorithm. Like you said, it's not even a high click-through rate that's actually making this video perform. And this video is performing. It hasn't been up very long, but I want to show you something interesting. I'm going to go to a part of YouTube here where I click down to since lifetime upload, because it changes these metrics. So we can start to see something. If I change to lifetime upload and we click on views, we can see the usual peak that happens around the first 24 to 48 hours, and then the decline, the dip of YouTube figuring out who most of the audience is early. But the thing is, it's remaining consistent enough to where if this video keeps doing about roughly 1,000 views a day, it's going to keep being healthy. It's going to keep doing really well. And I anticipate for what the topic is that will be the case, because that happens with a lot of my other video content. So you can definitely see what's happening with this And if you look at like real-time views, it's actually doing really good because the spikes are going back up over different hour-long periods. If it were all in decline over the last 48 hours, that would mean that, oh, the video is kind of quote unquote like dying off. But like I measure and I look at these things to know how a video is like really doing over a period of time. And so I'm not worried about it. Like I'm moving on to the next video already. It's kind of a set and forget it. Interesting, this did activate a lot of subscribers that watched all the way through, but look at the age demographics, Vyyyper. The age demographics on this reflect what I said. It's mostly people that are in my own age bracket. It's people between 25 and 45 years old, and I have more people that are 45 to 55 than are 18 to 24, you know? So, you know, and that's normal for a lot of my videos. So I don't expect as many views as some people because I understand that my audience is not the largest population on YouTube, and you know they may not have time for that. Go ahead.
Men lie, women lie, numbers do not lie. So it's
Fair
hilarious.
enough.
It's hilarious because you know when I'm in these clubhouse rooms and these YouTube tips and tricks rooms, and they're all asking, "How do I grow? How do I grow?" And I keep telling them, "You need data. You need data so you can make data-driven decisions." And this is why you need the data, because once you have the data, like Roberto is showing you, then you can know how to proceed with the correlating data. Data.
Mm-hmm.
Data.
So when I type in small YouTuber, you're going to notice something. Small YouTuber appears in the title or description of every video that ranks for small YouTuber.
Including Nick Nimmin, of course.
Yep, and of course myself. So now if I got more specific, and I type in something like, let me type in YouTube monetization and just see what happens and what comes up for that. So it's in the title of almost every video, including mine. Yep.
Because when you front load the keyword, that also helps. Not only does it help you rank, it helps people click on your video because then they can get a better idea what the video is about. In addition to having a banging thumbnail too. So,
indeed. And so if I go more specific, and I go like YouTube. Oops, hang on. Let me.
And the reason why Catherine Manning keeps popping up is because she is very good at doing all of these things that we're telling you all.
She's straight up SEO. Like she is a straight up SEO hacker. She's like all about it. So here's YouTube monetization 2020. And you see two of my videos ranking. You see Morgan up there. You see like, you know, a lot of these things. And here's my video. See, I have two videos that have less views than that video. And they are above that video. Because even though this is also about YouTube monetization and about a policy change, it's less relevant to the query that we made, right? If I type in 2021, we get different videos, including YouTube monetization 2021 update from me. And so I think you guys are starting to kind of see a pattern of behavior here. I think you're starting to see a pattern of behavior. If I click into this video, and we look at things like Social Blade, we look at all these different stats plugins, we look at our video analytics from TubeBuddy. Look, I have a 90% SEO score, and I was the second ranking video, like for a reason. If we look at these different stats tools, we can see that I can rank for this video, and we can see I only put relevant tags. You'll notice I didn't put PewDiePie in the tags, guys. I didn't put PewDiePie in the tags. Sorry, Felix. So those things matter. You notice that it did put in bold. It did put my YouTube monetization in bold in the description when we searched it. So again, all of this stuff does and would, you know, matter in terms of how we like approach this stuff. So I want it to be very clear. And I want to talk to people like, and I want to answer some questions from the chat too about this, but titles, I would say, are your number one priority. Titles are your number one priority. Now, some of you are going to make titles to try and draw in the audience instead of to rank, and that's totally fine. It depends on what your channel is and about. You'll notice though that what I do is I try to do both. I try to make my title enticing and I try to put some kind of keyword in it. I did it for this live stream. Too. So something that would appeal to your audience, but also would make it very clear if they search for something, what you're serving, what you're about. And now for entertainment channels, I realize that that's hard and it may not apply. But for entertainment channels, that's actually a good reason to tie yourself to a person, a place, an event, a product, a brand. You know, you do this with tech all the time, Vyyyper. I mean, let's hear from you. Then I'll tell people kind of like what my SEO strategy is, and I'll walk them through some TubeBuddy stuff. Also, again, shout out, thank you to our sponsor, TubeBuddy, link down below. But Vyyyper, let's hear from you about like your SEO strategy as a tech channel, and I'll also answer any questions you have, buddy, about more SEO.
So someone was asking us on Twitter about jam-packing the description with tags. Don't do that. Or jam-packing the description with random words that they think could act as tags. Don't do that. There is a such thing as giving YouTube too much information and confusing the algorithm, and just that's not going to do you any good. So only use the tag field, put in the relevant tag. Don't overload the description with extra tags thinking you're going to rank better or rank higher. It's not going to work. Just don't do that. Now, as far as I look for how to do SEO and keywords, so when I want to talk about or when I want to research certain keywords, I'm doing exactly what Roberto is doing right now. I'm going up to the YouTube search bar. I'm typing in whatever keyword or keyword phrase I want to research, and I'm looking at what else is being searched alongside of that. And I'm also using TubeBuddy to figure out where my channel, what kind of authority my channel has as far as that keyword phrase is concerned, and other additional keywords that I can use in my tags and things like that. So it's a lot of research. I mean, it's funny how often I use the term research, but research what the topic is that you want to talk about, but also researching how to go about doing SEO, your search engine optimization and your ranking. You got to research, because if you do your research, then you can have you can almost know how your video is going to do if you do the proper research before you go ahead and upload it.
Indeed. So someone asked the question, Scapo, thank you for the $5 super chat. What are your thoughts on the efficacy of hashtags? How do you research them? Have you looked into best ways to get placement in YouTube Shorts feeds? So the thing with hashtags is they're underused and they're underrated. I just typed in YouTube tips, and there's 28K videos that have the hashtag YouTube tips across 10,000 channels apparently, or so it would seem. And when I type that hashtag in, the first video that comes up is mine, followed by Nick Nimmin, Catherine, a video Mr. Beast did with the YouTube Creators channel. So even YouTube is using the strategy. Here's me again, you know, and then here are some other folks. And yep, there's Harris Heller from Alpha Gaming. So you can see that there is the channels you would expect around this hashtag. And if I click into this, you can actually see what's been kind of aggregated into this hashtag. And I think the majority of the channels are other languages around the world versus the usual suspects for those of us who speak English. But if you look at those of us who speak English, it's like the usual cast of characters, the usual suspects. You see what I'm saying? But then the other channels are the international channels. That's why there's so much of it. But other than that, it's me and the homies. It's the crew, you know, for the most part, and a couple other YouTubers who just want to share some of their advice. So the hashtags do help in one particular way in terms of the efficacy of it. I think it helps classify the channels that should be suggested against each other and the videos that should be suggested against each other in a very realistic way. I also think that when you talk about like the YouTube homepage, everyone forgets about the concept of categorization. Look at if I click on this live bubble, because YouTube knows I watch a bunch of live videos or live streams. Look at the live like thing. YouTube also knows what I watch. It's giving me most of the lo-fi channels, you know, because it knows I'm about that life. So including Zen Buster Music, which you guys should definitely subscribe to, since that's my music channel. You should definitely check that out. You also get to see the experiments that I'm running against that channel when we do our deep dives here. So you can see what a faceless channel's data would look like. I'll show you guys that later. But, you know, I can hit podcast, and these bubbles, Star Wars, cryptocurrency. You see what I'm saying? So classification is the thing that people don't understand with YouTube, because all anyone thinks about is, if I do YouTube keyword research, if I do YouTube SEO, if I do tags, if I do all of this, will I get more views? In fact, we had someone who said that they get we had someone say that they get more views without tags. And so what I would say about that is, the goal of YouTube SEO and tags, if you're thinking about it in terms of views, I understand why you're thinking about that, but that's actually not why I do it, Vyyyper. I'm trying to tell YouTube as much about my videos as possible so that I can get impressions against the right viewers and the right audience. That means that when I get views, there'll be views that lead to watch time that then further grow my channel. You get what I'm saying? Yep. I'm not trying to get views and clicks just to hype up my click numbers. I want that watch time, because watch time actually increases the value of my channel when it comes to ad revenue. Watch time helps grow my channel and tells YouTube that I'm relevant for certain things. So like, some people say they get more views with no tags. If you're an entertainment channel, I could see that happening. But if you do something where you could end up in a category, Star Wars, photography, anime, Dragon Ball, cryptocurrency, if there's a culture or a community that you're supposed to belong to, okay, action figures, you know, for the toy collectors and enthusiasts, model painters, so on and so forth. If there's something that you're supposed to be a part of, if there's a group or a community that you're supposed to be a part of, a culture that you're supposed to represent, then YouTube needs a way to know that. And yes, they're analyzing your videos, they're analyzing your captions. Here's the problem with some of that. Vyyyper, your channel was auto captioning in Dutch.
Mm-hmm.
How is YouTube going to put you in front of the right people when it was auto captioning you in Dutch?
Mm-hmm.
So we have to, so metadata, all these things matter. That's why I take no chances. Titles, descriptions, tags, playlist descriptions, and closed captions. I do them all because I'm not taking any chances. I'm giving the robots everything they could possibly need to put me in the right buckets and put me in front of the right people. For me, it's not even as much about the search ranking. The search ranking is a great opportunity. I want YouTube to classify my videos correctly. I want them to show up next to the right videos against another YouTube video or another channel, whether it's my channel or someone else's. I don't want it to show up against the wrong thing or show it to the wrong person who's gonna click my video and then immediately click off of my video. I wanna be in the right category for every video I make, so I do the extra work. I go the extra mile.
Yep. Again, like Roberto was saying, the more information that you can give YouTube, the better the algorithm can figure out where to disseminate your video, which is key, because if it can correctly determine where to disseminate your video, that is how you get that quality watch time, get those quality views, those quality subscribers, and that quality organic growth that we all want so badly.
Indeed. I'm going to walk you guys through my exact process for titles and thumbnails here in a minute, but Vyyyper, I want you to take a stab at this question, and then I'm going to chime in on it. We got a $50 super chat. Thank you, Kosher Tech, but you're a tech YouTuber, Vyyyper, so I want you to answer this. What are the best analytics to follow for channel growth for a channel which is my size, 10K or over, in a tech space? Appreciate your time and feedback. Thanks.
Best analytic for to follow for channel growth. Well, I'm not 10K, but I can tell you the things that I look at.
You're halfway there, so it's about the same category.
Yeah.
At least comparative to my channel, for example.
So something I like to look at is the videos on the, if you go to the Creative Studio, you can look at the video. I think it's like your last, how your last 50 videos or whatever are performing for the last 48 hours. I like to look at that. So
you mean the real-time analytics?
Yes. I like to
let me go to that.
I like to see what YouTube is like recommending and promoting and putting out there, so I can better figure out what it is exactly the algorithm wants. Also,
so the way we do that is we go to real-time analytics and it shows us this.
Yep. I think it looks like last 25 to 50 videos or whatever. So you can see at the top which videos YouTube is pushing out more at that time. So if I see something that's like really popping and I feel like I can make more content that's related to that, then I go ahead and do that. That's one of the things that I do. The other thing I like to do is I like to go back to the Creative Studio and go to the go back to the reach tab. And then I like to look at the keywords that are being associated with my channel for that last 28 days or whatever, like that. So you got the YouTube traffic source from searching, and it has the term that is associated with your channel. So I like to know what's going on there, so I can better determine, like, again, what YouTube is like wanting from me and pushing on my behalf. So those are a couple of things that I do to try to figure out what's going on.
Great answer. I do exactly the same thing, believe it or not. That's exactly what I do. Is I use the 48 hour real-time analytics very intentionally, and I make notes of it pretty regularly. And what I'll do is, in fact, right now, part of my plan is, Vyyyper, to make more videos around because a lot of people, they should know this, but like they may be too focused on YouTube tips stuff, is that I do really well with tutorial content, especially around video editing. You know that's kind of like my background, and that's one of the things I started with was tutorials, started this whole channel around software like Adobe. And I have this older video about adding background music to videos. And so my video editing tutorials, I've even done stuff on Adobe's channel. They do really well, and tutorials are evergreen. This video has lasted me for 6 years and it's still making me views and money. It's fantastic. So I could do a bunch of updated video editing stuff, and I built a whole new video editing lab here. So, I mean, think about it like this, guys. I went through a lot of trouble to make this happen here. And I'll talk about shorts in a minute. We'll get back to that. I have the ability to do all this, right?
Getting fancy,
right? So it's like, I have this really dope setup. I have this great custom PC battle station that I built, from Voltron. I have this wonderful video editing and live streaming monitor that you guys can see here. It's really convenient because, again, I'm set up to where I'm not going to miss super chats. I can share a screen with Vyyyper. I can manage the stream. I can do everything all on one screen. I don't have to switch between screens. It's great. And and I can switch everything from this wonderful panel, and I have this very elaborate setup. So talking about the camera gear, the video editing, the cinematic live streaming setup, screen recording apps, the best free software to do this, the best cheap cameras, like I can do that content, and obviously it'll do well because if we look at my analytics, even a video from 6 years ago around this thing is in my top 10. So that tells you something. As for, we're in a difficult economic time, I talked about, people talking about get a real job, and I talked about the fact, hey, real jobs went away, and now I have this side hustles video. I'm going to do more videos about making extra money, side hustles, making money online, print on demand, the merchandise, how to do that with things like Spreadshirt, Teespring, Printful, all the print on demand companies, like, because people can make real money doing that. They're just not necessarily aware of what's possible. I mean, this video is still getting hundreds of views every week, getting thousands of views a week, honestly, because this is just 48 hours on how much money you make online selling t-shirts. It's still doing really good as a video. In fact, I'll go into the analytics of that because this video is probably still getting a lot of traffic from search right now versus when it started. So again, guys, you may not think that 30,000 views is a lot, but this video was published in July of last year. And I'm going to show you something. So at its peak, a video always usually does really good at its initial peak when you first upload it, okay? But over a period of time, one, it can still make you money over a period of time, so that's important too. But yes, it went down in views immediately after its peak, but it stayed consistent in pulling like 100 views a day, even months after I uploaded it. It's been like, like a good 8 months after I uploaded it, and it's actually getting to the point to where it's actually getting double the views again, and so it's getting back up. So this is one, it's still relevant, and it's still going strong, and it's actually kind of recouped its momentum, so people are interested in it. It's also brought 400 new subscribers to the channel. Every video you make gives you more subscribers, so in terms of things that grow your channel, that makes sense. Look at the performance. Even now, after the video has been around for like 9 months, Vyyyper, it still has almost a 50% average view duration and a very high completion rate toward the end of the video. That is a strong video, and it's a 13-minute video. So this is a topic that people do care about. And then since it's been published, its initial push, of course, was going to come from browse and suggested, but 52% of its traffic has come from search. So this is a primary example of a search-friendly video when 50% of its traffic comes from search over a period of time, and it's so strong that it can still bring in 100 to 200 views a day, almost a year after it's been published. So like, this is a really great example of that type of video. So again, this is a more balanced video. This is a very search powered video. Didn't really initially hit with the audience, and then look at the search terms that it hit for. Okay, let's analyze that. Let's go into more. And this is how you can start to understand your data. Let's see, we got a line chart. Let's look at a bar chart. And this data can help me in the future. Selling t-shirts online is searched more, or at least hit for more people when separated in this way than in this way. So even the spelling and thinking about that and looking at the terms, looking at these search terms over a period of time and which ones were more engaging for people versus not. Not just the views, but also looking at the view duration based on what people searched for is really helpful to see how they, resonated with the video. So, I mean, when you look at search stuff, Vyyyper, like, you can see how this is impactful, because these are the terms that tell me that these are the tags and these are the words to put in the description, or even which word might be better as a phrase to put into my title, because I have this data. Now, I don't have this data before I make a video, but having it afterward tells me how to make the future videos for a playlist around this topic if I want to keep hitting this topic and I want to keep ranking for it.
Indeed.
Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, there are commenting in the chat that this particular video has netted you 444 subscribers, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
especially being a tech content creator, I am all about evergreen content, my dude. Evergreen content is like the gift that keeps on giving.
It really is.
I mean, I got a whole playlist dedicated to iOS 14 because people are going to be searching that all year, at least until iOS 15 comes out. So those videos are going to get viewed the entire year, at least half this year.
Even in the last couple of months, some of those iOS 14 videos have been your most viewed videos of all time on your entire channel.
Yep, indeed.
And those are more recent videos for you because iOS 14 is the new, it's the new thing.
Yep. So evergreen content is nice.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Vyyyper, what are your thoughts? You've done some YouTube shorts that have gotten a couple thousand views, it looks like. I think you had one that did like 2.4 thousand views. What do you think about YouTube shorts? And it's the topic du jour in Clubhouse. I need to make some videos. I haven't made any videos about YouTube shorts, but Clubhouse is obsessed with YouTube shorts. Twitter is obsessed with YouTube shorts. Like, why is that? But what are your thoughts on this?
Well, it's interesting because I kind of thought that my short was going to die, but now I see YouTube has been suppressing them. So now I don't know what to think now. Like, but like you said, I had a couple of them that kind of popped a little bit, but nothing like extremely major. But I don't have accurate data because now I know that the last few of them have been getting because they've been restricted. So I don't know. But I mean, I think,
but generally,
but I think from what I've been hearing, shorts are pretty much hit or miss. You can have great success with them, or they could just pretty much die by the wayside. But I think the other thing about shorts is that, according to what I'm hearing, they could take anywhere from like 14 to 28 days before they can even pop. So they are definitely a marathon and a waiting game if you want to.
I would make the shorts evergreen, if I'm being honest with you. I'd make evergreen shorts, and I'd make shorts that if your regular audience just finds them on your channel, they'd still be down with it, and it would make sense for them. And I would also find a way in that short to promote a playlist or another video that would matter to the person watching that short. That's what I would do, and that's why I keep advising people. Shorts are interesting, but I just think of them as another content format. I don't really think of them as being overly special. People think they're overly special because they want the virality, they want the juice, they want more views from them. But it's like every video is that, and yes, YouTube might theoretically be pushing shorts aggressively or surfacing them more, but I've already proven that you can also get a live stream to perform just as well as a regular video if you do everything that you need to do. And if you think about the live audience, the replay value, what would a good title be, not repeat the same template for the live stream, give it its own custom thumbnail, its own title, its own description, promote it in advance, launch it at least an hour or a day before and schedule it, hype it up in your socials. Like I've shown you guys that I can get 10, 20, or even 30,000 views on a live stream replay in like the first month of that live stream, and it's evergreen content that'll keep bringing them watch time and views, and will escalate the channel's watch time, which will make all their ad revenue go higher, and which will promote other videos. I've shown you that live videos, long 4-hour videos, can do that on a channel. Video about whether live streams hurt or help you and how to make it help you, coming soon. But I'm going to also have to do the same video with YouTube Shorts, but I'm also going to have to put YouTube Shorts on the main channel and on the music channel to prove my point. I'm going to experiment with it on the music channel first, and then I'm going to formulate an evergreen strategy and, like, I think a couple of good Shorts videos to put out on the main channel, and that'll give us some data. And it doesn't matter if those don't do well, because I'm just going to stick to the regular upload schedule with regular content. It doesn't matter if the shorts don't succeed. I'll have data.
All right, we got to stop the live stream real quick because people in chat are asking what are shorts. So for those of y'all asking what are YouTube shorts, think about TikTok and how TikTok videos look at things like that. So YouTube been trying to compete directly with TikTok with their shorts. So a YouTube short is a vertical video. It has to be 60 seconds or less. And either in the title or description, you have to hashtag short or put the hashtag short in either the title or description. And then YouTube will identify that video as a short video. But again, has to be a vertical video, 60 seconds or less, either in the title or the description. You have to include the hashtag short. And that way YouTube will identify that video as a YouTube short, and then let the magic happen.
And I'll just like give you guys like an example. We'll look at Mr. Beast, like as per usual, to just kind of give them an example of a YouTube Shorts.
Yep.
And again, it's somewhat unfair to analyze a Mr. Beast product of any kind to try to ascertain what to do, because whether it's done correctly or done the most effectively or not, it'll perform because it's Mr. Beast. But he has a team of dedicated people that study every aspect of this thing. So the thing is, I do believe that everything he does is optimized fairly well. But you have to remember that a famous person doesn't have to adhere to the same rules as a person who isn't famous in terms of their content performing. So again, yes, Mr. Beast, I know a lot of you have said Mr. Beast doesn't use tags. He did when he was a small YouTuber, though. He doesn't now that he's a big YouTuber. And that's just how it is sometimes. Don't expect that just because big YouTubers do something that that's what you should or shouldn't be doing, because there won't be consistency there. Because again, famous people do not have to do the same things as you. You might, it's like, just keep about, you might have to work harder than famous people. Like, I'm so sorry that's perish the thought that we have to work harder than people who are famous already. And again, that's not a stab or a jab or any kind of negativity toward Mr. Beast. I love Mr. Beast. I'm just pointing out a fact that you can't, like, I can't do things that a famous person would do and expect the same results, because I'm not a famous person.
So somebody in the chat is asking, what if Mr. Beast's budget? Now, I don't know the exact answer, but what I can tell you, and what he told me last night, is that he spends at least $10,000 on a thumbnail, people, on a thumbnail. He told me this to my ear last night when he was in my clubhouse room. He spends $10,000 on a thumbnail. So if that tells you anything, do with that information what you will.
Yeah, I mean, there you go right there. I want to bring this up, Vyyyper. So like Legal Eagle is a 1 million plus, almost 2 million subscribed channel. He still optimizes even shorts. He still puts optimization tags in shorts, but in his description, what he's doing is he's pushing people to his Discord and to his other stuff and his socials. So he's doing basically his general descriptions, but like, and he's also pushing his product. His copyright course is actually really good for those of you who are worried about YouTube copyright stuff. So again, he's using tags, and he has 1 million subscribers. So Legal Eagle uses tags even for his YouTube shorts, because I've heard people like talk about that, and he does great with YouTube shorts because he gets an absurd amount of views in general every month. So if Legal Eagle at 2 million subscribers is still adhering to that, and some other big YouTubers are not, then grain of salt, because it can go either way with that. So just kind of remember that, like, there are best practices and standards and things that exist, but every YouTube channel is clearly very different. But it's not to say that just because you do something that XYZ does or doesn't work, you know? And again, I think if you're thinking about from how many views you get, or, oh, I get more views doing this, I don't think that's actually the 100% way to think about it. I think the more practical way to think about it, I mean, a lot of people try to go to the trending tab and decide they'll do whatever YouTubers are doing that's in the trending tab, but I don't necessarily believe that that works. But let's look at this Minecraft YouTuber, because a lot of people ask about gaming and everything. This is a short. Minecraft shorts are brilliant. Minecraft shorts are.
Before we do that, somebody in the chat said that $10,000 is too much for a thumbnail, and you could think that, but that's why he's Mr. Beast, because he can do that.
No one can be Mr. Beast. I don't think that $10,000 for a thumbnail is reasonable. I'm also not trying to be bigger than PewDiePie.
There you go. So what you think might be crazy, it's just a normal day.
That's a budget for a thumbnail. Like they throw $400,000 on average on a video based on the interview I did with Daryl Eves last week.
Ooh. Yeah, they don't play.
Yeah, like, but again, the stakes that they're playing for, you know, like, God bless them. Like, you know, that's what you would have to do to be at that level. You want to go big or go home. That's how you got to play it. You know, we got Jason Million, $5 super chat. Thank you, homie. Do you find that categories matter if you are in a tech YouTuber and you put stuff in either people or blogs or science and tech?
We were just talking about this today. Yeah.
Yeah. Talk about it. I mean, did Todd have anything to say about this?
No, Todd didn't too much, but I think the conclusion that we came to in the room yesterday is that categories don't really matter much because the algorithm is going to figure out how to disseminate your video anyway. So,
here's why I do think it matters.
Okay.
I think if the category you have contradicts the other signals that you're giving, that then your quality score would be lesser. Consistency. Remember, if things match, the more things match together, the more things are consistent and congruent and don't contradict each other, the higher your quality score for relevancy would be.
That's interesting. Because when we do these StreamYard live streams, and you know, Roberto, most of my live streams are tech related, they automatically get categorized into entertainment, unless I go back in and change them, because that's how StreamYard does it for whatever reason. And the live streams, I mean, and I've heard other people say that their live streams, their tech live streams do well, even though they're categorized as entertainment. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
I think that the live thing for entertainment in theory would make some kind of sense. I don't think that would have as big as an impact. I'd be interested in the replay value views though. The evergreen of because again, remember, live streams for a lot of other people, aside from the way that I'm doing them, wouldn't always necessarily have replay value unless it's like a gaming live stream or something like that. So I like, again, I have a video where I'm going to break down live streams because I think that works out slightly different.
Yeah, I don't know. It's funny because when I'm looking at some of the, you know how when you upload a video and you go to that video and on the side tab you have like all the analytics for the video. If you have like vidIQ or TubeBuddy, they'll give you like the upload rate, the velocity, and things like that. And then down further, if you have vidIQ, it'll have topic. And sometimes my tech video will be categorized as lifestyle, and I even had one categorized as music one time. So I don't know. It's janky. It's kind of weird.
I agree. I think I think that's a whole thing. We have Sucka Free Sports. Oh, that's a cool name. Let's see. I just passed 100 subs on my channel, but I still can't customize URL, even though I've met all the other requirements. What do you think the problem is? If your channel hasn't existed for 30 days, then that might be a problem, because I had the same thing happen on the lo-fi channel, on the music channel, and so I had to wait, even though I had the subscriber requirement, more than a subscriber requirement. That is something you have to do, is your channel has to exist for 30 days. Yep. And until you cross that threshold, you can't apply for a channel URL.
Also, you can do with this information what you will, but you might want to consider changing that name at some point.
Oh, the Sucka Free Sports?
Yeah.
Oh, you feel like it would hit the
and you talking to the wrong person about this, but yeah, man.
Yeah, no, I got you. Peter's super chat isn't able to pop up because I can't go back far enough, but Peter has the question, TubeBuddy and vidIQ sometimes give me the same keyword in different SEO score rankings. How do we know which one to believe? I don't use SEO score rankings at all. Like, did you like Vyyyper? I think I told you that I don't use SEO score rankings at all.
Oh, and what respect? What do you mean? Like when they pop up when you're doing the tags and titles? I mean,
like when it tells me, oh, you have a 90, like, oh, this 90, 80, like I ignore all that. So I don't actually vidIQ, TubeBuddy, Morning Fame. And it's like, again, it's not even because like TubeBuddy's a sponsor. vidIQ's been a sponsor before too. And I'm an affiliate for vidIQ, Morning Fame, TubeBuddy, and like 2 other things that are all like relatively competitors. So it's like, I know people like to love to think about bias, especially in the tech community and everything like that. I believe in the concept of preferences. If you want to call preferences biases, so be it. But in terms of what I recommend all 3 of them. And I use all 3 of them. I used to pay for all 3 of them before everybody gave me stuff for free, so that's fine. I used to pay for it out of pocket. Now I don't have to. And so since everybody has been a sponsor, I can say whatever I want candidly. And what I say is I use them all because I use them differently. And TubeBuddy doesn't mind me saying this because they think that they feel they're differently enough. I use TubeBuddy because of the productivity aspects of TubeBuddy are superior, and I love what I get with the visual comparisons in the click magnets tool and how it can tell me the emotional spectrum of how people click on my click-through rates of my videos and stuff like that. vidIQ I use to spy on other channels, and then Morning Fame I use to do a quick contextual. Yeah, for real. Like, and Morning Fame. And I like the views per hour thing, even though technically, like, there's reasons why you normally wouldn't be able to get views per hour, but I like seeing that. And it's close to what's in real-time analytics. So I like just seeing the historical data on that, and that's how I use it. But I prefer TubeBuddy because TubeBuddy is a suite of tools that I can use, and I'll show you my workflow. I'll show you guys exactly how I do this.
All right, we need a detour.
Yeah, I'll show you guys. Go ahead, Vyyyper.
We need a detour real quick. Somebody in the chat said that they are hiding their sub count. So I want to talk about that real quick. Obviously, it's personal preference whether you hide it or not. I'm of the mindset that I'm not hiding it, and I don't think people should hide it because to me, it just seems like if you're hiding your sub count, then how can I explain it?
What I know where you're going with this, Vyyyper. Let me ask this.
You? Okay.
Yeah, kind of, but like, let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
What does knowing the sub count of a channel do for you if you like or don't like the content? I know that there's an initial, what are they hiding? But like real top, like it's BS. Like what you get 0 value out of, let's think about it like this. Like if you watch a content creator and you couldn't see the sub count of a Mr. Beast video, that doesn't change anything.
No, but it could change the perception. Like, I don't know, I almost feel like kind of it's like a fake channel if it doesn't have a sub count. It's just weird. It's just out of the norm. I'm not saying that the content is bad or is good because obviously you don't know that unless you watch it, but when you don't have the sub count out there, it's just weird. It's just different. That's all.
Oh, we got Vyyyper. You are you there?
I'm here. Hello,
Vyyyper. You're lagging.
Really? I don't know how. Can you all hear me? Because I'm looking good on my end. Maybe he's lagging. I don't know.
Hey Vyyyper, log out and log back in real quick.
Alrighty.
Because you're lagging. You're like in robot mode. Yeah, Vyyyper will be right back. And I want to let him make his point. So I won't go back to that until Vyper's back because I do want to hear his point and his perspective on that. So I'm not going to interject mine until he comes back. But in the meantime, we'll look at some super chats. So Construction Cronies, thank you for the $10 super chat sticker. And thank you, Euro Auto Enthusiast, for the $15. All right, Vyyyper, welcome back. Are you not lagging anymore?
I don't think I was lagging.
Okay. No, you were on my, like, dude, it was total robot mode.
Interesting. Okay.
All right, but please continue with your point.
No, I was just saying that when the channel hides the sub count, it just looks weird. Now, I'm not saying that the content is good or bad because you don't know that unless you actually go and watch the content. But it just, when I come to a channel and there's no sub count, I'm like, what is this? It just looks weird. It doesn't look normal. So I don't know, but it is what it is.
So what I want to do real quick is I'll show you guys something. Because believe it or not, and it'll make sense when I do this. So I'm gonna go to youtube.com/zenbuster, which is my music channel with those sweet lo-fi beats for your enjoyment. And it's a music channel, right? So this is a music channel, and we run a 24-hour lo-fi radio stream with relaxing music that you can enjoy. Right now, we're premiering 10 hours of lo-fi for dreamers, so people can sleep to or chill to today. Happy V-Day, everybody. And we got, some hour-long loops, and we got some individual tracks, some mixtapes, all this stuff. So this is a music channel. And so I'm running something as an experiment partly, and I do this from time to time with new channels that I launch, is when a channel is new, and I'm not telling anybody to do this, I always do this to see what'll happen, is I hide the sub count initially on a lot of these channels unless it hits certain milestones like 100. Every 100, I'll reveal it for a couple of days, then I'll pull it back, and I keep testing data to look at the sub counter growth. Now, with a music channel, I've seen some channels that I know are monetized and are bigger, or they're at least getting a lot of views on the music. Because music is different. It's a completely different beast in YouTube. So I'm not saying this for any other type of channel, but I know some of y'all have music or music production channels in there, or faceless YouTube channels. And so here's my thing. I think sometimes if you have a faceless YouTube channel or a music YouTube channel that's not tied to a personality, I don't think you have to play the same credibility or social proof game that someone that's a face or a personality has to play on YouTube. And I think with a music channel, because YouTube music channels are actually handled slightly differently anyway, I don't think people even notice or miss the sub counter when it's a music channel, because when you're clicking on a music channel or a music video, it's a completely different experience than any other type of YouTube channel that you could subscribe to or click to or whatever. When you subscribe for music, you're like, I want to listen to this music. You don't care about being part of a community, or it's not about a creator's personality. It's not about their credibility. It's not about them hiding anything. It's like you're subscribing because I'm like, I just want my music and I just want to bookmark my music.
Yeah, when you put it like that, then you're hiding sub count on a music channel. It's almost like it's not even, like you said, it's not a person. It's like an entity, or like a corporate entity, or just a musical entity. Yeah, in that case, it doesn't really matter because you don't really care. But like I said, if there's like a person that's the face of that channel,
yeah,
when you start hiding sub count, it's a little weird. But everybody gonna do what everybody gonna do.
No, I agree with you. And with me, part of what I did is I wanted people to pay attention to the music, because like for me, I'm like, if I wanted to eliminate one more distraction from the music, you know what I'm saying? Like, technically, I feel like if I could have hid the view count, I probably would have hid the view count. Like, to be real with you, because with music, I would want it to be closer to the experience of Spotify. Even though it's YouTube, I want that. And then also, we're in the YouTube music algorithm for the YouTube music app, which is pretty dope. But like, I wanted to eliminate any distraction from the actual content when it comes to music, when it comes to that, or to the artwork of the music, because like we have it to where there's like an animated loop. I did an After Effects thing with that. So like, and then there's really dope artwork, and then that actually kind of gets people into the vibe of the channel's brand. So we've been doing that. Most of the traffic on this channel comes from suggested. It doesn't even come from me promoting it, believe it or not. So again, one of the things that I wanted to do with this, and I don't even know if, like, I haven't even really checked if we rank for anything but our name, and it doesn't look like we do. But again, I do the optimization for specifically being in these categories. And the thing is, even though we don't rank for search, we do end up in, when I log in, even from other channels to watch through, or other people tell me, if they click on a bubble that says like lo-fi or lo-fi hip hop or something like that, our music does show up in those categories. So we're being categorized correctly. And even though this has like 800 subscribers, one of the videos got recommended to the point of having 13,000 views. It's like 13. Yeah. So suggested algorithm is like the entire game, man. Like the suggested algorithm is crazy. So, again, don't neglect search, but also there are other traffic sources. And just remember that you're optimizing your YouTube channel for viewers, and everything you're doing is not about like, yes, you want to get views, but remember, when you're doing keywords, when you're doing tags, when you're doing titles, when you're doing all of it, one, it's to help YouTube put your stuff in front of the right views, because there ain't no point in people clicking off your video after 10 seconds. You know, there's no point.
Nope. As we've been reiterating time and time again on this particular live stream, watch time is the game, baby. Watch time is the game.
It's so much the game. That's where the impressions come from. That's where the impressions come from. People don't realize that. Taylor Med said, I'm a preacher that is a gamer. Is it a good idea to put spiritual videos and gaming videos on the same channel or make 2 different channels? I'd make 2 different channels, but I would say that you could have a theme as a character in your games to where you could have, I mean, we have our friend, the tech preacher from Easy Tech Solutions. Like you could have a theme in your content, or you could be a Christian gaming channel. Those things are fine, but I wouldn't split the audience on, oh, I came for a sermon and then, oh, you're playing World of Warcraft. I wouldn't split the audience. That's just my, what do you think, Vyyyper?
I agree with you. That's a hard thing to kind of mesh. I mean, like Roberto said, you could do it, but yeah, you might want to just have separate channels if you want to really do that.
Yep. And let's see, there's another super chat. Euro Auto Fence. My audience is positively responding to my BMW automotive DIYs, but views drop off fairly immediately after that step. How do I increase watch time till end?
In the video after the last step.
Basically.
Yeah.
Basically. I mean, Vyyyper.
That's literally the answer.
Yeah. I mean,
bro.
That's why. Do you know that that's why a lot of people stop doing unboxing videos?
Why is that?
Because like once the thing is out of the box and it's over.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, you might as well just make it all unboxing videos might as well all be YouTube shorts. Oh, that's a good idea for the gear channel.
So it sounds crazy, but listen, we have a short attention span. So any unnecessary fluff that is in your video, you need to cut it out. Like I used to have like a 2-minute long outro. Now I think my outro is maybe like 30 to 40 seconds. It's stuff like that that we have to cut the fluff because people are not going to stick around for the fluff. Once they get what they came for, they're gone. That's it. So any unnecessary fluff, you got to cut it out.
Yeah, I agree. And the thing is, I think that with a lot of things with that, I cut a lot of my intro and people have like responded better to it. And I cut almost all my outro. And you notice my watch time and retention rates have just been through the roof because of it by comparison to where they were, getting over 50% on some videos. Warm Heart Family asks, what do you think about clean with me videos and channels? Are they considered evergreen? Yes. I actually think that they're right now, especially with some people still in quarantine and things like that. I think that like clean with me, study with me, even for video people, edit with me. I think that those things massively underrated and are like what me and Nick Nimmin call watch time traps. And I think that they can grow a channel and be evergreen. I think they always have the potential to go big later, even after they're uploaded. And I think people really relate to them, especially right now. Like, I think that it's really dope. And I think there's an aesthetic to them and some things about that people really just kind of enjoy. It's really soothing. Kind of like even with the trend with like the lo-fi hip hop stuff right now. Like, I think that a lot of these things, especially for people who are more introverted and, are very like much more thoughtful, like much more meticulous. Like, cause again, I like watching some of those things, believe it or not, when I clean the house. When I clean the house, I actually like watching those in the background or listening to the music from it feels like less lonely. I mean, it's like, I don't have another way to put it. Like videos where you're doing the same activity as the viewer feels very comforting somehow. I don't know how to explain that.
It's all about being relatable. Any content that you can put out there that makes you relatable to your audience, it's gonna be a big win, especially on YouTube. I think as YouTube has become more commercialized over the lifespan of its existence, a lot of creators try to be more professional in their content and things like that. But then you have things like TikTok that come along where people are just everyday people doing everyday things and just being creative with it. And TikTok is exploding because it doesn't have that commercialized feeling to it. It has that everyday, every American Joe feeling to it. And people resonate with that. It's more relatable. So if you can make more relatable content, no matter what the platform is, I think that will allow you to establish a closer connection with your audience.
I agree. Kitty from Atola Visuals has been killing it because of her TikTok stuff that she's now also porting over to Instagram. But now part of that creativity is finding more of its way into her channel, and she's getting more well known. And I really love that because I've always felt like she deserved more attention and more views, and like, you know, definitely deserves to be one of the most creative people I think I've ever seen. But TikTok let her unleash her inner creativity and let her unleash, and she dominates that vertical video format, you know, doing the throw up unboxing kind of like magic edit and stuff like that, or doing some of the other cool like hyper edits and stuff like that. Because again, she's the person who even on her YouTube videos used to like spend 3 hours on like, you know, 15 seconds for shots and stuff like that. And when you got to TikTok, where the whole thing is like 15 or 30 seconds, but then it's edited to that level of perfection with that effort was finally appreciated. And then it brought over an audience to her YouTube channel from TikTok and Instagram that could appreciate that creativity and level of sophisticated editing and gimbal shots. Yeah. So I love that Kitty has been finally getting like the kind of attention and play that she's deserved the whole time.
Yeah, man, that's a bad girl. That girl.
Indeed. Yeah. Like, yeah, no, Kitty is the ultimate baddie. Gimbal girl for the win.
No doubt, man, no doubt. So, Roberto, question that I get a lot. Well, actually, I was gonna say question that we get a lot on the Clubhouse. New creators, they want to know how can they come on YouTube and grow their channel, this, that, and the other. And I give them the same answer over and over again. I'm like, listen, man, you got to make 50 to 100 videos. Figure out, make 50 to 100 videos. Experiment. Make whatever content you want for those 50 to 100 videos. When you reach the 50 or 100 video, go back, analyze your data, figure out which videos are hitting best with the audience, figure out which of those videos that you enjoy making the most, and try to find some type of intersection between the two. And that should give you your data-driven decision about where to take the channel. What do you think about that?
I think that that's solid advice, especially for a beginner. I think that it's some of the best advice that you could give anybody. Look, at the end of the day, the easiest way to understand YouTube and channel growth really comes down to the following. You have to make something that people want to click on. That's going to come down to topic, title, thumbnail, and timing. So you have to be thoughtful about that. You have to figure out the culture of the audience that you're trying to reach and what they would care about and what they care about right now, or what they will care about forever and indefinitely, and what will resonate with them whenever it's put in front of them. Remember, YouTube could put your video in front of people for any reason at any number of times. So the thing is making it so that when it is put in front of them, it will still matter to them. Like Mr. Beast made a Valentine's Day video for his girlfriend Maddie last year, and now a year later that video is getting pushed to people because it's Valentine's Day. It's an evergreen entertainment video. Evergreen videos aren't just for tutorial and tech channels and product reviews. It could be for entertainment as well, as long as you are thoughtful about it. So, okay, so that's the idea. People don't spend nearly enough time refining their ideas, or they spend so much time refining their ideas that they miss the window of good timing to release it, or they exhausted and aren't into it anymore enough to execute. So like, you just got to figure out something that you can pull the trigger on and go for it, and then just do your best with that topic, title, thumbnail, and timing. Okay. Then the thing is, you have to let it go. Now, the video, that's the attention span part. That's the attention part. Now we have to do the viewer experience part. That means a video has to be well presented, well shot, well produced, good audio, and it has to be edited and formatted in a way that keeps people watching. Just like we saw, I can keep 40% of my audience like right up until the end of a video, and then when I'm doing my outros, that's when they leave, you know, or at least half of them at that point do. So like, you have to structure a video that makes sense to keep people's attention, or even in some cases that they'll want to watch again later too, or the replay value. We do these live streams, Vyyyper, in such a way that the replay value is strong to where people could come back, take notes, grab a snack, grab a whole plate, and they could watch the video again, you know? And we have really interesting and entertaining sections. I mean, we led with value at the beginning of the video by going into the restricted mode, and people hadn't even heard of it, and people were asking questions, and we got really into it. Then we immediately went to showing people in real time that we could rank a live stream, something I don't think people have ever seen before, you know? So like, we made a lot of substance-based replay value to rack up watch time. This live stream is probably in replay value going to get over or close to like 100,000 hours of watch time at some point. Okay, so I really believe that. Getting people to watch another video when you appear in their homepage or their suggested comes down to them enjoying the previous videos that you've made, and then also
You still
Sorry
there?
about that. That was the garage door. That
Oh,
noise is my brother's doing his Uber stuff. So like that was the garage door. But like the replay value is important, but then having such a good experience and then a style of your thumbnails to where people will recognize your thumbnails when you show up in the homepage or suggested again and say, oh, I know that person, I'm going to click, or I know that style of thumbnail, I know that that's that creator, I'm going to click, or hey, I'm interested in that topic, I'm going to click. People refuse to answer. Why would someone who doesn't know you click on your videos? They refuse to answer and make and design their titles and their thumbnails and pick topics that says, hey, I don't know you, but I'm going to click on that video. And then you got to deliver for them and say, I don't know you. I didn't know you from Adam, but I enjoyed it. You were hell of entertaining or hell of informative, or you gave me so much value, or I like your personality. You got to do that kind of thing. And then if they have the opportunity to watch a video from you again, they will. If they enjoyed it that first time, you got to get that second date. Valentine's Day, hello. You got to get first impression, second date. Good first impression, second date.
Yep, no doubt. So one more thing before we hit T's super chat here. So somebody in the chat was just asking how many times a week should they upload? And again, I keep repeating myself. It's not really about how many times a week should you upload. It's about how many times a week can you upload and be consistent about it week after week after week. So how many times a week can you upload that fits your lifestyle? Because you whatever you decide, you have to be willing to be consistent with that amount of time that you upload. That's simple.
I agree with that 1000%, dude. And here's the thing. Uploading more in theory can help you if you can maintain quality and you have good ideas and you can push them out. There are some people who do daily. I don't know you need to do that, but you can. There's a lot of the thing with daily content creators is daily content creators make a lot of money. That's one of the things that keeps them being daily. To be very real with you, once they're monetized and they're daily, like they enjoy it and yeah, they're getting the algorithm, but it's not really about the algorithm for them. It's the fact that they're making more money by being daily. Like, to be very real with you, to be very clear about it. Like, I was talking to a daily content creator the other day that's making tens of thousands of dollars going daily a month, like tens of thousands a month. Sorry about that. Like, not a day. I'm sorry. But like, and their channel is around 90,000 subscribers. So like, they're around 90,000 subscribers, but they're making like six figures are like.
Renee is funny. Renee's like, oh, you're talking about me, Roberto. That's funny.
Am I?
Well, Renee posts damn near daily, so yeah, you're talking about him. But I'm gonna step back and T has a question for you.
Sure. So, well, actually, he does this for both of us. Well, actually, yeah, he did say it's right. Question for you, Roberto. Since my channel is over 60% search case videos, am I hurting my channel and videos that's not case related? So, T, when you do like videos that aren't case related, that might be more commentary, it's that I think you need to do them in a way that would be evergreen. Take my Get a Real Job video for a moment, right? I put Get a Real Job, my response. I didn't put YouTube in the title, although I did put it in put the logo in the thumbnail. Like, I made a video that no matter when that video shows up in somebody's feed, that commentary video, that rant video is clickable no matter when they see it, whether it's months from now, weeks from now. I feel that sometimes your commentary videos may not be evergreen enough or may not feel evergreen enough in the title and in the thumbnail. And I think your commentary videos, I think they have to have a thumbnail style that's so unique to you and recognizable, but also clickable and intriguing. And I don't think it'll hurt you for those commentary videos. Now, other tech videos that are non-case videos, I think that your core audience is looking for that. But if you're getting so much traffic from search on your case videos, there's no reason you can't get traffic from search on any other type of tech video. Like there's no reason you couldn't. You can be known for more than one thing. My channel is more than one thing. I actually tend to get more videos on views about passive income than on YouTube tips, as long as I nail them right. Because more people care about money than care about YouTube. YouTube is a niche thing for a lot of us. More people care about money. When I do video editing or Premiere Pro, the Premiere Pro video editing community extends beyond YouTube. There are Premiere Pro editors that are on TikTok and on other platforms or Instagram stories or Premiere Rush or video editing in general. If I do video editing in general, if I do free video editing, best 5 free video editing programs, I'll get views on search forever, and I'll get views off of the homepage and suggested forever, because the community is so much bigger than my channel. And that's something people don't think about, is what communities are bigger than your topic, bigger than your channel, bigger than what you're known for. And could you make something relevant enough for people in that category? So the thing is, I don't think it has to hurt your channel just because you get so much from case videos. I think you're known for that, T, but I don't think there's any reason you couldn't be just as known as El Jefe for headphones. I don't think there's any reason. Like, if you did it long enough, though.
Not to mention the fact that, at least in my case, most of the people that watch my content are not subscribed to my channel. So every time you upload a video, you are reaching people that have never seen you before. So they don't know what you do or what you're known for. So that's an opportunity to put something new in their head. So there you go.
I think that I need to watch more of T's videos and I need to watch the first 30 seconds of T's videos. Because I'll tell you what, Vyyyper, I believe that the secret to the video's success lies in the first 30 seconds of the video.
I've heard this
and
before,
so,
yeah.
And I believe that if you watch the first 30 seconds of anybody's video that you've never seen before, that teaches you everything you need to know about the success of a channel. If I watch the first 30 seconds of a Mr. Beast video, if I think as somebody who's never seen Mr. Beast, I can see all the science behind that. And not just Mr. Beast. If I watch the first 30 seconds of a Renee Ritchie video, if I want to look at tech, all I have to do is watch the videos of tech YouTube channels from people that were relatively not necessarily a known entity in the millions of subs a few years ago that are killing it now. So all I have to do is watch the first 30 seconds of the most viewed video in the last 30 days, of Renee Ritchie, Travis NCP, and also of like Issa does tech or El Jefe. All I have to do is watch somebody with a video that did very well in the last 30 or 90 days, watch the first 30 seconds of a couple of their videos, take a few notes, and realize that if those videos are performing well in the first 30 seconds and there wasn't a high drop-off rate, then that connected with the same community and culture that I'm looking at, and that means that it was enough of a signal and it got enough watch time without me knowing the back end for YouTube to say, hey, what's up? Because I have to know what the first impression was. Because if I know for a fact that YouTube, if that video did big numbers, the video reached beyond somebody's audience, which means it did well with first timers. If a video did well with first timers, then that tells you the psychology of that video is correct.
Which, everything that Roberto Blake just said, that is the reason, you all, and I need you to listen to me very closely, that is the reason why you do not start your YouTube video with an introduction, with an intro. Don't do that. Please don't do that. That's why.
Yeah, T's saying that he's going to look at that first 30 seconds because he can bet that people are clicking off. Yeah, when I started analyzing that first 30 seconds, Vyyyper, you notice my channel has been like skyrocketing lately. It's because I've actually been quote unquote trying. Like it's like I'm not hella trying, but I'm tweaking. I'm tweaking enough.
You haven't been trying?
What if Vyyyper?
I told them, y'all.
Vyyyper, what if I told you, like, Vyyyper, I'm not like, because I'm not trying to humble brag. I'm not trying to be canceled out here today. But like, Vyyyper, you grew up watching Dragon Ball Z, right?
Uh-huh.
Vyyyper, what if I told you I was using 1% of my actual power level?
I believe it. Oh, that's funny.
What if I told you I'm on that final form Frieza-ish? Like,
oh, is that right? Oh, is that okay, I got you.
Like, because people be sitting out here like Kakarot thinking I'm bluffing. Like, that's the thing about it. That's like, but I would remind people I don't do 40 hours of YouTube a week. Like, the biggest content creators, they don't do 40 hours of YouTube. They do 60 hours of YouTube a week, and they have like 5 employees that also do like 40 or 60 hours of YouTube a week. The biggest content creators have 300 plus hours behind every one of these videos of theirs. I am not doing that. It's not to say I couldn't do that. I'm just not doing that.
Roberto,
I got this far not doing that.
He said, I ain't got time for that. I feel y'all respect that.
Like, I'm like, you know, I'm trying to do a lot of things, and like, actually I'm hiring more help, believe it or not, like, because I have help in my business. I don't have a lot of help for my channel, but we're about to change some things up. I'm about to hire some family members into the business, you know, part-time, because like, you know, I'm not trying to infringe on people's like monopolize whole things. I think I will eventually just buy everybody out like Mr. Beast did. Mr. Beast actually hired all his friends and family. He just like kind of bought them out of their jobs and their school and their like thing, and just was like paying them to like come all in with him. But that's a big responsibility, and like hats off to the guy. He does right by everybody in his life, but like that's a big ask. That's asking a lot of people to be full-time employees in a creative venture of any kind, and it's a risk. Like I want to put some more things in place before I would ever ask people to do that. You know what I'm saying? So I do a lot. I carry a lot on my shoulders still. I still do all the editing right now. I only get a little bit of help from time to time with that, but you know, I still do the solo content creator thing, but I'm not doing it 40 hours a week. I kind of feel like that's an easy way to burn out, to be honest with you. So I'm much more balanced than people would think I am.
I believe it. Somebody out there said I'm doing the most. Why do you think I'm here? I'm here because I do the most. What are you talking about?
Yeah, right on. So we got Shin ET Animations with the $10. Thank you. My channel aims to make content for a specific niche game. First gameplay, then animations put me on the map. Now I'm doing a lot of live streams with the same theme. Is it okay to keep all on the same channel? If you're satisfied with the numbers and there's not a negative impact, I don't see a reason not to keep the same stuff if it's something that also has been part of the brand for a while. Even if you're known for something else now. I mean, Mr. Beast kept all his old content on the channel. I kept almost all my old content on the channel. The exception was I took some of the entertainment stuff from back in the day and a few vlogs that don't mean anything to me. That like it was like looked at kind of I'm like I don't care about this, that like I you know, either unlisted or privated. There's some stuff on the channel. There's actually 1,500 plus videos on this channel, but some of those were like members only stuff. Some of it is stuff for my newsletter VIP list. So but I think there's a link to the newsletter in the description. If not, it's just robertoblake.com/newsletter, and then you get exclusives. But like, yeah, so there's like actually 1,500 videos on this channel, not 1,300. I think 1,300 is the public number, but I don't see a problem with leaving up the old content. Like sometimes people unlist or private it, and I think sometimes there could be like a little bit of a data purge that helps. John Prosser has done that. He swears by it, but YouTube is getting sophisticated enough to where I don't see it as necessary, especially not for a channel like yours. Because of the audience and culture of that channel. So I wouldn't worry about it too much.
Yeah, I always say as long as your content is all along the same lines as your videos and your live streams, then yeah, it could all be in one channel.
Voice Crypto, thank you for the $5. I just posted my first video. Should I hide my sub counter since I'm new to YouTube? No, I don't think you need to. Again, I'm only doing it on the music channel because the culture of music is different. The culture of music is different. Besides, sometimes I like to see psychologically if more people will subscribe than not. But again, that's in relation somewhat to me. That's not necessarily a normal thing that would happen. I do have some clients though. Believe it or not, Vyyyper, I have a client that has their sub count that has 1 million subscribers. I have another client that has over 500,000 subscribers that hides their sub count. So I'm not going to say you can't do it. It's a preference thing. I just don't think it's necessary for most people. But if you have a reason, then you have a reason. But I don't think, unless you're a faceless YouTube channel, I don't really think you need to be bothered or worried about it. I think that faceless YouTube channels and corporate YouTube channels don't need to worry about the YouTube culture in the same way that a channel with a face does. And I'm not sure if you do, since your name is Voice Crypto. So it's just down to what you want to do.
So if you're looking to build like a community on YouTube, seeing that sub count and part of building a community, they want to be a part of that journey as your sub count grows. So that's the reason why you might want to consider keeping it visible. But like I said, at the end of the day, like Roberto said, it's a personal preference. You do what you want to do with it.
Indeed. And I want to show, I'm going to do another super chat, and then I want to show you guys how I do the SEO, because we promised to show you the behind the scenes of that and walk you through that. Let's see. Let's get to this. I think there's another super chat. I'm trying to find it here. I think it was right after T's. Let me see here.
Shout out to the 385 of you all hanging out today.
Yeah, like you guys are the real champs here, for real. But it was Noxy Hustles said, I passed 1,000 subs array, but I'm stuck only getting 2K views on average and 15 subs each. Any tips for getting to 10K subs faster? First of all, I wouldn't worry about fast. I would like, I know that everyone wants to grow faster, but it's like, I would say only 2K views. You passed 1,000 subs and you're getting 2K views on average. That's actually a lot. Most people don't do that. That's nothing small. And you're getting 15 subs a day. Like, that's not small and that's not slow. The only thing I could say is if you're, let me take a peek at something. If you're like, one, I did a video on how to get your first 10,000 subscribers, so watch that video. That'll help you do it faster. But what I would say is like, okay, Vyyyper, if he's at 1,000 subs, like, how's he like? Let me try and find his channel. Well, first of all, I think
this doesn't even mathematically make sense to you, boy, Vyyyper. If you got 1,000 subs and you're stuck getting 2,000 views a video, you're not stuck. You are overachieving, son. Okay, you are overachieving. So I think you're doing just fine.
All right, he's actually at almost 2,000 subscribers. So like the good news I can say, is his channel isn't in the trap of, it's not, his channel's not in jail. That's the good news.
That's good, yeah.
Like, so that's the good news. I'm wondering what's up with the deal though on your like ratios. I'm like, are people hating on you? Like, is your stuff, because like, all right, so my thing is, if you're getting these like ratios, which that doesn't always matter, some people are just haters, but it's like, I have to wonder if your thing either feels like clickbait or if the style might feel aggressive to people, or maybe you're reminding people of Rice Gum. Like, I haven't watched the videos, I'm just previewing them. I don't dislike your thumbnails. I think that they could be a little bit easier to read. I think that'd help with click-through rates because like some of them are good and easy to read. I just think that some of them are not. And then, yeah, always try to avoid the timestamp in the bottom right corner, like as far as the words hitting that, if you can. Yeah. Like, Vyyyper, what are your first impressions of this channel? Because like, I actually think it's pretty good.
Okay, all right. So, you know, obviously what I'm about to say is personal opinion for me and only me, and I can't speak for everybody in the chat here, but anytime I see a channel like this without a single face and a thumbnail, I disconnect. Now
I agree.
Maybe that's by design, but I mean, obviously there are times where, you know, you don't have to put your face in the thumbnail, but there is not a single thumbnail that I can see that has your face in it. And
well, these are technically tutorials.
Even still, there's no human emotional connection I can make with these thumbnails. They look like something a company would do. So, and maybe it is a company, I don't know, but
well, when it comes to like tutorials, like people like deal in concepts and brand names and icons more than they do in faces. I know that's a personal preference thing to you, but like I've been in the tutorial game for a long time, and I can tell you that like, yes, because I have a personal brand, I mix my face into tutorial thumbnail content, but I've also had massive views come from using the logo of the company instead of my face in a taking up more of the thumbnail where I would put my face, by putting the logo of Photoshop, the logo of, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a real thing. And then you've also seen that tech creators like Marquez and Peter McKinnon, by using the camera instead of themselves, get massive views.
Are we really comparing this dude to Marquez and Peter McKinnon, Roberto?
When Marquez started out as a kid, he wasn't doing things differently than this.
Oh, you mean when he started out? Okay. I thought you meant now. Like, you can't. Okay, I got you.
When he started out as a kid, Marquez got to a point to where he was doing, when he was a kid, if you look at his oldest stuff, he was doing his thumbnails like this. They just weren't as good as this, but no one's was back in YouTube back then. That was a long time ago. Right. So like people weren't, you know, so like when you're doing it, when you're starting out, and if you're doing a tutorial channel, again, when you're starting out, no one knows who you are. So they don't even care about your face.
Exactly why you should put your face on the thumbnail, because
not necessarily, because not everyone, Vyyyper, not everyone wants to be known for their face. And like, then some people are going to build a brand, and some people are going to like go that route. Like, not everyone's going to do that. A lot of female content creators are going to do flat lay content, and they're going to, yes, they're going to show their face on camera, but they're going to do these beautiful Instagram flat lay things because it ties to the brand that they have in Instagram and Pinterest. There's a lot of reasons to not show a face. I think faceless channels are the future. Look at Corpse and Dream. They blew up out of, like, seemingly to some people nowhere. I'm not saying they blew up out of nowhere, but think about it. Dream hasn't been doing YouTube super long on his current channel, and he doesn't reveal his face. It's become a gimmick that he doesn't reveal his face.
You realize you're talking about winning the lottery, right?
Dream didn't win the lottery. Dream like went to Reddit communities when he was a small YouTuber, and he explained exactly what he was going to do. Dream didn't win the lottery. It just looks like he did. No, Dream studied the YouTube app. Like,
I'm talking about you comparing people to Dream.
I'm not comparing. All right, let me make it clear. I'm not comparing people to Dream. I'm talking about a mindset thing.
Okay.
I'm talking about a mindset and a methodology. I'm not saying you're going to be Dream. I'm never saying that. No one's going to look. I don't think there's like, I could be wrong. I really would bet any number of money that nobody in this chat is going to be Dream and is going to get 20 million subscribers. I'm not going to do it. Like there's like, I could be wrong about that. I would probably bet though and win. So again, if we're going to play odds, but I'm making a point that the mentality of what they did when they started, what they started is valid. It's not saying everyone who does what they do is going to get the same results by starting that way, but it's making a case study point to the fact that they weren't held back by doing that. And it didn't stop them. And remember, Marquez made 100 videos and didn't even get 78 subscribers. So Mr. Beast made 100 videos and didn't even get to 1,000 subscribers. PewDiePie made 100 videos. He did 2,500 subscribers. And also when they made their first 100 videos, they didn't do things right either, and they probably weren't, in my opinion, making content that's even as good as this or thumbnails that are as well designed, and they became massively successful creators in different times in different eras, sure, but I'm just saying that I don't think that this is a detriment to what he's doing by not showing a face. He does show his face on camera, but I don't think everybody needs to. I mean, he has videos here in under a year that have over 5,000-10,000 subscribers with 2,000 subs. I think his strategy is working. I think it can be refined. I don't think he has to change a working strategy. He has data here that can back up what he's doing. So I'm not gonna undermine that.
No, I'm not undermining. You asked me what I thought, and I just told
No, I love different perspectives. Look, I put my face in like almost every thumbnail, dude. Of course I agree with you. I can devil's advocate though and say that this guy's doing something different than you or I would do and still succeeding. That's all. Like that's and again, I brought you here because I love having people don't believe me. I actually like when people don't have to agree with me. I love that there can be a different perspective because it can be a totally valid perspective. And I love when people can respectfully challenge me. When people don't respectfully challenge me and everything like that, I'll drop kick them.
Here we go. Oh, this is great.
Like,
actually,
but hey,
surprisingly, we don't really disagree too often, which is kind of odd.
Well, I mean, to be fair, we're both reasonable, handsome men. We're not going to disagree that often.
That's your logic? Okay.
Yeah, that's my logic. That's what I'm going with that. Quote me. So anyway, what I think could help you grow faster is that, like right now, and I don't know if you have experience with it, and I don't want you to do anything that you're not comfortable with or anything that you don't think is legitimate or anything that makes you uncomfortable, because I think the main thing is you have to make content that you stand behind and that you're authentic with, and that you have to not say anything you're not experienced in, like especially if you're teaching people. And I don't mind people showing their experience as they learn something. I want people to be careful with that. And I want you to make sure you're always giving good advice. And I haven't watched your content, so I don't think that you're not. So I'm just making that clear. But what I would say is right now we're in a period where a lot of people are looking to apps like Fundrise and Webull and Robinhood and what's the other one? Stash and Cash App and all these things around the stocks. And I think that there's a rabid fan base looking for tutorials on how to use those things or how to use certain functions in those things or how to do certain things, not even how to make money with them, but how they actually work. And I think that could fit what you're doing here. But the other thing I said is just make sure always that there's a dark enough background to make this text with the glowy stuff you're doing readable. Because like that's always the thing, is readability is a big deal, and avoid that timestamp at the right hand corner. That's always a big deal. But I think that knowing that there's a demand around these trading and financial apps, and then doing reviews of them and doing features of them on how to do certain things in them, or a step-by-step beginner's guide to them, would be a gateway to new people discovering your channel who don't know you. And then they've got all this bingeable content that they could watch from you. So to what Vyyyper was saying about what Mr. Beast and even what Todd from YouTube was saying was, if you have this gateway content, this introduction, this first impression, where someone who doesn't know you but wants to know how to use like Webull or Robinhood or Public or Stash or whatever, or Fundrise or whatever, and they watch that intro to using that thing, and then they know that you have all this other stuff that they would be interested in. If they're interested in that, they have a rabbit hole to go down with you. after that first impression, and that's going to make them sticky, and that's a good reason for them to subscribe. So I would do that. I also wouldn't dabble into this how to get YouTube subs thing, because every YouTuber who hits a milestone wants to tell everybody all about it when it has nothing to do with the thing that people signed on for their channel. So I just wouldn't make that content, to be honest with you. I know why everyone does it. I get it, but it clearly you missed out on getting like 2,000 or 3,000 views doing your other content to only get 200 views doing this. So I would just not do that. I would just do
one thing,
what performs.
I do like the fact that he doesn't use much text on his thumbnail. So that I like, because I hate a lot of text on thumbnails. I hate it.
No, he's doing the smart thing by using like the minimum of like 3 to 4 words. It's perfect. Like, and it's readable until you hit the timestamp, which is my biggest like kind of thing, or when the background is too light for his special effect. So that's my only real complaint about that. But he's getting views, so I would just kind of double down on things that are getting views. But I would also, in addition to double down on what's getting views, is I would understand why something would get views. And right now there's more interest in something, and there's more beginners. So there's more beginners, and again, it's valid if you're not super experienced or you're not a certain age, because I'm not sure how old he is, but he looks like a young dude hustling. Like, it's valid to teach beginner stuff, even as a beginner, and what you're learning around the way by not claiming expertise. So I think that a lot of those beginner app things and teaching people how to use apps as beginners, not necessarily promising them to make money from them, but using them because they could make them money, would be valid. And I think that people would click on that, and I think that that would grow a channel. But again, I always caution people, if you're going to teach something, be willing and be able to stand by it and prove credibility and legitimacy. And this was not meant to be a channel review. This was not meant to be. I just like I saw his thing and I couldn't help myself.
We're gonna have a problem with your next super chat. I'm about to send a cease and desist order.
How so? What's up?
He's infringed upon my name.
Oh, it's another Vyyyper. We got another Vyyyper.
But to have my lawyer get in contact.
You had me actually thinking it was something serious, man.
Hey, it's pretty serious out here, Roberto.
Let's see. Hang on one second. I'm looking for the super chats. Any of the ones that I did miss. Thank you, TFG, for the $5 super chat. Where you see some men of color at the top of the food chain. Big fan. Thank you. Let's see what else we got.
Person in the chat asking, how did I get my closed captioning thing fixed? No, it's not fixed. I'm still having issues with it, apparently. So yeah, that's the whole thing.
People are like saying, Roberto, are people actually still using Robinhood? Actually, yeah, if you look into data, not everybody was super into the Wall Street bets thing. And like, again, Wall Street bets like crashed and burned because they were like, they pretended to be smarter than they are. And like, people lost their life savings trying to believe in these dudes and everything because they thought they could beat a rigged system. Like, you can't, like, the house always wins. I don't believe in populism. I don't believe in revolutions because I believe the house always wins. I believe Rage Against the Machine is a good way to go broke. If there are people that are literally ruthless out there enough to do some of the crazy things that ruthless people do, if you really think that some trolls on Reddit are ever going to beat the masters of the universe, like, no. I mean, yeah, there are people rah, go out there, fight the good fight. I just am cynical and bitter, and I don't believe that the masters of the universe are going to be beaten by kids on Reddit. And I think that everybody needs to, before they go hanging their hat on people storming the castle that like have never... Like when you hang your hat on these kids that aren't even 35 years old on storming the castle, you're just gonna be disappointed. I've seen it my entire life. I'm almost 40 years old. I'm over it. I'm like, I just don't believe that children are going to like manage somehow to slay gods. I'm over it.
So first off, Renee, Richie, what's up, Renee? The big homie sees you out there, Renee. We appreciate you. And secondly, Benji Travis is out here chilling with us. What's up, Benji? How you doing, man? Appreciate you hanging out.
Benji, what's up, my boy? Yeah, I'm probably gonna try if I can manage to stay awake to get on Clubhouse later. I was promising Benji to do something this weekend with Clubhouse. I fell asleep yesterday though. Any ideas on how to grow my gaming channel? I do fighting games as a whole, also anime because I love it. How do I get more people to grow? Culture and community and stuff people will click on, man. It's like just having a gaming channel or an anime channel is nothing special in the eyes of like the whole, like the grand scheme of things. It comes down to, are you making stuff people would want to watch, you know? And there's plenty of successful channels in your theme. So you have to understand that there's a proven path in terms of what people will watch. I mean, that's what worked for Vyyyper. Vyyyper knew that there's a demand for iPhone content and iOS content, and that there are Apple enthusiasts, Apple loyalists. So he niched down his channel to that. There's nothing wrong with doing variety check channels, but he knew that he has a special place in his heart for Apple. He's the captain of Team Apple. He has that branding, so he decided to lean into it, and it's been working for him. He's been growing more than he did the previous year. So,
no doubt. Shelly, hi Shelly, what's going on?
Let's see. We got the Petite Pescatarian for advice shared here and on Clubhouse. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate that.
Roberto, the people appreciate you on Clubhouse.
Yep. Thank you for like dragging me back in.
Kicking and screaming.
Indeed. Would I do a mukbang? I know your channel's information, but I don't know if I would do a mukbang, and I'm like probably self-conscious about the idea of eating on camera, to be honest with you.
No.
Like if I was with a bunch of other YouTubers, I would do like one in their video. If we were doing it for some reason on my channel, like if we were doing like a round table or doing something and we just happened to do it and we had a bunch of food, then that could be dope if we made that work. Like if I had YouTubers that were known for that content, like my friend Tosh.Fro. My friend Tosh.Fro is the biggest mukbanger on TikTok, and she's pretty big on Instagram as well, and she has a YouTube channel with over 100,000 subscribers. I think she's got like a couple of million on TikTok. So like Tosh would be a candidate for convincing me to do a mukbang if we did a collab across our channels, and if we had other YouTubers, then because then I can do, because the thing is, if I was going to do something outside of my norm, what I would do is I would collab with a bunch of other YouTubers, and I would do stuff on each of their channels, and then I would do a collective video on my channel where I have some really successful YouTubers. They don't have to be 1 million subs. They could be over 100,000. And we would actually talk about YouTube stuff, but we'd talk about it, but we'd also do some activity, some group activity, because that's just a different thing I've thought of for my channel is if I have successful creators, but instead of doing a podcast interview, we talk about success, we talk about being a creator, but then we do some human activity together, whether it's a challenge video or a mukbang video, or actually what we could do is we could do together, we could do popular YouTube trends in the video while talking about YouTube stuff. Like that would be a different vibe and a different thing. It's an experiment that I want to run when COVID is theoretically over, assuming COVID's over, because people are stupid and don't wear masks. So,
say it again.
People are stupid and don't wear masks
all the damn time, man. I digress.
Yeah, no, I think we're kind of stuck with COVID until 2023, to be honest with you. I'm not a doctor.
My Lord, Roberto,
I'm not a doctor.
No.
I just.
Come on, man. Oh, man.
Yeah.
You're probably right, but damn.
Yeah, Benji, my homie. Actually, you know what? Maybe next week Benji will come on and do channel reviews with me next week. Maybe I'll ask him.
Ooh, power hour. There we go.
Indeed. By the way, guys, get the book YouTube Secrets by Benji Travis. Also pre-order the book YouTube Formula by Daryl Eves, and check out Tube Ritual by Brian G. Johnson.
Actually, somebody was asking us earlier in the chat, would either me or you write a book? I have no plans to write a book.
I'm writing one now. I'm writing 2 books actually right now. I'm writing a book about the creator economy, and I'm writing a YouTube money book. I'm writing also, actually, I'm recording an ebook. I'm recording an ebook that someone on my team is going to turn from my audio into an ebook, and then when we script it out perfectly, then I'll record an audiobook. And if it does well, we'll do to print. But I'm writing a book about passive income because I hate all the misinformation and myths about passive income, because 1, I hate the charlatans and the scammers out there, but then 2, I don't like all the cynicism and pessimism around passive incomes, because I think it's cheating people out of their understanding of the fact that the goal is to go from being an employee and maybe having a side hustle to, in theory, if you're not getting a good deal at your job, then you figure out how to take your skills, go to the market on your own, and you turn a side hustle or a hobby into a self-employed opportunity or a career. And that doesn't have to be YouTube. It could be YouTube. It could be Twitch. It could be doing the gig economy lifestyle with the apps and the Uber Eats stuff. It could be affiliate marketing. It could be e-commerce. You could be selling your stuff on Etsy, and that could turn into a full-time thing. You can do what Reezy Resells and Raise the Entrepreneur do, and you can do reselling and flipping. You could do a vending machine business. You could, like, if you do a side hustle long enough and it starts earning you more money than your day job, and you don't feel respected at your job, there's nothing wrong with leaving and being self-employed. And the thing is, now, if you get good enough at that to scale and to get your time back, if you want to have a family or something, or if you already do have a family, you can get people you can hire to scale the business so that you don't have to spend all your time hustling. And then you have a business and you have employees and you have structure. And if you're making enough profits, you take those profits and you invest in stocks and real estate, and those things help you over time. So the thing is, you can stop trading your time for money by picking up a side hustle on the internet, even now if you work a 9-to-5 job. So you can get passive income. You don't always have to trade time for money. Not every side hustle is going to be Uber or DoorDash. Some of it could be online. And you can make money when you're at work or when you're asleep or whatever, because people are paying you money, or there's transactions, or there's ad revenue, or it's whatever it is. But if you do it well enough and it makes enough money and it proves itself, you could just stop trading time for money at your job, go down to part-time, or do like Uber or DoorDash part-time, and then grow the side hustle into a real business. And then if you're making money along the way, the thing is, I think everybody should be an investor anyway. I think everybody should, if they're not struggling to live above their means, I think everybody should be taking money and maxing out. This is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. Disclaimer. I think everybody should try to max out either their 401k or their Roth IRA or their traditional IRA, whatever their retirement accounts are, because I did the math and I'm like, if you could just get to that point, and if you can't do it with your 9-to-5 job, that's why I think getting a side hustle on the weekends, maybe you need to sleep more at night, so, or maybe you need to spend that time after work with your family. So pick up some time on the weekends. I think you get a side hustle, you take that money, you can either invest in yourself to grow another side hustle or grow a business, or you could use that money if you need to improve your life situation. But if you can take that money and if you can max out your IRA or your 401k, I think that it leads to long-term a better life. I think if you can side hustle, save up the money, get into a mortgage, stop making someone rich off of renting, and get into a mortgage, you're going to own that house at some point. So you're going to have it to pass down to your kids. They're not going to have the living expense of a house because you'll pass it on to them, or maybe the grandkids. They'll have a better shot than you did. Like, that's how generational wealth building works. And the thing is, it really is a formula. It really is a formula. It really is a step-by-step formula. But people are so convinced that they can't do it, and everyone keeps telling them they can't do it because of how many people failed before them, that they just refuse to take the actual steps of the people who did do it. And that's all you'd have to do, is literally just repeat the steps of the people who did do it. And again, it's not exact, but it's like, it's literally just, again, it's not about, I don't care about the minutia of how you do it as long as it's legal. But if you just max out your 401k, you're better off than someone who's not maxing out their 401k. If you stop renting and making someone else rich and you actually own your house in 15 years, you're better off than someone who has to pay rent like my poor grandmother did before she died. She paid over $600,000 in rent in her lifetime as an adult without ever owning her house. Like, I mean, God, that just, I makes me want to cry. So I think there's real opportunities to be successful. So I want to write books about it, because books last forever. And, you know, like, not everybody on the internet is going to, like, you know, read, like, get my content, you know, so writing books matters. So I want to write books about this stuff. So
all right.
yeah, I'm writing a book.
All right. My turn. All right. Few things. Benji Travis would love to come join you next weekend to do channel reviews. So you got that. The Vibe Mindset, he gave us 15. Well, he gave you $15. He said, one tip to improve your channel in less than 30 seconds. Your thumbnails look too similar. I'm on your channel and they all look the same to me. So you might want to change up how you do them from video to video. They look too similar. That's my advice. Next, we got okay. So I'll come back to that one. TGF Political Media says, how often does TubeBuddy and vidIQ update their ranking info? I noticed sometimes that the rankings of the same keyword vary. I've noticed that too. I don't really have an answer to that, but they're usually pretty close.
So with that, again, I wouldn't overly worry about it. I focus on, and we'll show you guys this in a second here with my process. I focus on search volume.
Yep.
I focus almost exclusively on search volume and almost nothing else, because I want traffic. I want traffic, and I believe I'm going to be competitive. So I used to look at high traffic, low competition. Now I'm just going to fight I'm just gonna be competitive. So I don't even look at the competition. I don't even worry about it. I'm gonna like fight through. So I just look at the traffic and I'm like, I want a piece of it. That's all I want. I want a piece of the traffic. I don't even worry about anything else anymore.
All right, type one talk. Thank you both for amazing tips. Any tips on effective or writing effective titles? I have topics that viewers care about but struggle with clickbait titles. Listen, dude, it's not a clickbait title if you deliver on the premise of the video. So if you can write a title that's enticing people to click on it, that is exactly what you're supposed to be doing, and keep doing it. All
right. Let me see something. Yeah, you were right about with the vibe mindset real quick. I could look at these thumbnails and I could make the mistake on my homepage of thinking I've already seen the video and I could skip over it. But the thumbnail designs themselves overall are good. There's just too much similarity between them. So the thing is, like, a good thumbnail and an effective thumbnail are different things. So keep that in mind. I had to not do the same live stream template over and over again because, like I said, I had to make it different enough to where people wouldn't skip. So I've been like, even I've had to take that advice myself to heart. So, just take that with a grain of salt there. Also,
shout out to JT Health for becoming a new member.
Yeah, thank you for joining the squad. Awesome squad in the house.
Let's see. Oh, yeah.
All right, effective titles. So something about effective titles, I'll give you a specific tip on that. I look at readability scores. I'm actually potentially working with a group of channels with a few channels that are over 1 million subscribers, and they used to be much more popular. They're still very popular, but I immediately, when I was asked what I would do differently, I went and I said, your titles are too long. And they're like, I'm not saying this about your channel, but I was telling them their titles were too long for what their audience is, and that they needed to test the readability of their videos in a readability score index. Because like what I do is if I go and I go readability score, you can actually see literally, because I have it like bookmarked that like this is what I do, like because I'm a lunatic. What I do is I might pull something from like trending that's not like music or something like that. Is I will literally take something like this, like Azzyland is like a very popular YouTuber. I'm gonna take the this title and I'm gonna plug it into the direct input of a readability score. I'm gonna calculate the readability. And see this one, it's going to do well because it's Azzy. But it's like I checked the readability score. And the thing is, some of these are not as high as they could be, right? But Azzy's like a really strong creator and like she'll get views anyway. But if I look at something like this is like super easy title. Or if I look at Mr. Beast almost always scores high, right?
Mr. Beast.
Yeah, but if I calculate the readability of certain things in YouTube, I can kind of gauge how well they might do based on these readability scores. And the thing is, it says, look, this would be easily be found and understood by 6 to 7 year olds. Now let's look at, again, whoops. Like, again, I don't know this creator and I don't really know his content, but he has 1 million subscribers. This thing in a day has 600,000 views and it's number 11 on trending. Number 11 on trending. The YouTube audience is super young, right? YouTube audience is super young. The readability score here means that this would be understood by 6 to 7 year olds. Like, I think that's a really simple idea. And again, I'm not telling you guys to overthink this per se, but I will tell you that when I look at a lot of videos, like if I go to Mr. Beast, if I look at a lot of videos, when most of the videos that I've ever seen with 10 million views on them, almost everything I've ever seen with 10 million views has a high readability score that scores with very young people. Like if I directly input this Mr. Beast title, it's not going to shock anybody that it does very well with 10 to 11 year olds. See what I mean? You see what I mean? It's like this Mr. Beast video scores, the title scores with 10 to 11 year olds. That's not an accident. Like 5th grade reading level, it's not an accident. Like I literally probably can go through almost all of his videos and it will probably always resonate well. As far as a title, it'll probably always have a readability score that does well with people of that age. Almost any video I've ever seen with 10 million views exclusively, like 1 million views, it could go either way. 10 million views, it's almost always exclusively something that will perform well with super young audience. So I hate to say it, but the average, you can look this up in Google, the average reading level of the average American is a third grade reading level. So I'll put it like that. So like your titles have to be effective for someone of a third grade reading level.
No doubt, no doubt. All right. So shout out to Corey Chamber for becoming a new channel. Shout out to Corey Chamber for becoming a new channel member. No doubt. All right. What else? Yeah. What else? Get out here. Let's see.
It's a shame you're so wishy-washy, Roberto. I don't think I'm wishy-washy.
Oh Lord. But you're watching this live stream.
Yeah, for real. Like, what am I wishy-washy about? I'm pretty nuanced, and I'm willing to change my mind based on evidence and science. I'm a completely reasonable person.
All right, we're not gonna go down that rabbit hole. The bad B8 or bad bait says Vyyyper. Any suggestions on keywords? Yeah, go to the YouTube search bar, type in whatever keyword or keyword phrase that you are thinking about doing a video on, and watch it populate with other things that are being searched, and go from there.
Indeed. It makes total sense. It makes total sense when you think about it. Trying to make sure I didn't miss any super chats. And like, yeah, to your point with TFG with TubeBuddy and vidIQ with the updates, I think that again, in my opinion, don't believe that the search scores matter. I think the traffic volume potential matters, and then I think you'd have to fight to have a compelling title and thumbnail and idea. And I think that you can fight through, because we've seen that channels break through with that. I mean, it happened for John Prosser when he was a small channel. Like, you can break through. I think that the interest in an idea is the core thing that people overlook, is how many people care about this thing right now. So I think that the topic, the title, the thumbnail, the timing is probably the most important thing in the world, and then delivering a good video that honors the promise of those things. That's the thing that I think.
So we have an interesting super chat from Intermittent Fasting with Ryan. He says, I'm trying to rank for what I eat in a week. I do a weekly video going over prior week meals. Should I title them the same with different subtitles? Does this help hurt? Well, if you're planning on doing a series of what I eat in a week, then absolutely, you could title them the same with different subtitles. That would definitely help you out. Absolutely.
I think that if I were going to do anything, the way I would structure that is I would put the series name at the end of the title and make the unique name the first thing in the title, because then the first thing in the title, one, could be something that's emotionally compelling that grabs the viewer, and then also YouTube will think of it as different content. But then the series being at the end of the title would make the most sense to me.
That Roberto with nasty. That was good. I was gonna like that one.
Yeah. No, I think, like, again, it's super nuanced. And again, I think I actually want to show you guys that here on the screen here, real quick. Let me get out of this Mr. Beast video real quick. Because I can show you guys kind of my approach to TubeBuddy in it. I think I've shown you this before, Vyyyper. I think I've shown you my process for how I use a lot of these tools in the back end.
All right, while you do that, I'll be right back.
Okay. All right, all good. All right, so let's begin. It's a Mario reference. So I'm gonna go up here to TubeBuddy, and I guess I could just go full screen here. Let me just let me see, and let me get that a little bigger for you guys so you guys can see. I think that's okay. I think that's probably fine. All right, so we have these different tools that we can use, and so a good place to start when it comes to TubeBuddy could be the Keyword Explorer, to just kind of start to think about, like, what is it that I'm going to learn about? Like, what am I going to try to rank for? What am I going to make a video about? What am I going to talk about? And the thing is, it does tell you what's trending in the United States and how many searches it's getting. So the thing is, if you were a commentary or news channel, then right here, you got some trending stuff. You can talk about Lindsay Lohan, Arsenal, Nicki Minaj, Valentine's Day, the movie. You could talk about Meghan Markle. You could talk about the Snyder Cut of Justice League. You know, there's a lot going on right now, and there's a lot of this search volume, and so you could just kind of piggyback off of any of that if you wanted to. Now, if I pick a topic to do a search on, I'm gonna probably pick a topic that I know that I'm relevant for. And again, there are differences between the free version, the pro, star, and legendary. Everything I'm doing, like, I think a lot of it will be available in the free version, but not all of it. And I don't remember, I'd have to look at which things are available, but just know that my version of TubeBuddy is the legendary version. And if you want to use the legendary version, I have a 20% discount code that you can use. Discount code Roberto's Buddy. Link is in the description down below for you guys along with that code. If you go to tubebuddy.com/awesome, again, link down below. But what I will say here, and again, they are a sponsor of the live stream. We'll just pop that up real quick and pop that out. So, like I said, we'll start with the Keyword Explorer. Now, what I do is I don't just use one word keywords. I use phrases that I know people might search on, okay? So I think about things like best side hustles. And see, the auto suggestion tells me some things that are interesting. So I'm like, okay, there's clearly a demand for side hustles for students and young people and teenagers, and that probably would get me more views, but it's not my core audience, and it's not who I usually reach. It's not who I connect with. So I'm going to avoid that. Could go with 2021 because it's the year of our Lord 2021. So again, let me just see what it says. Now, it says that the search volume on this is decent. It says that best side hustles has 30,000 estimated searches per month. Okay, pretty good. It's giving me this score. I'm like, I don't really care what it thinks my weighted or unweighted score is because I'll just fight through. I look at the results. I do own one of the results. Here's Graham Stephan. Here's some other people. And again, I do own one of the top results somewhere around here. Here I am, number 18 for just best side hustles. Okay, so based on the search volume and who I'm up against and the thumbnails and everything like that, just doing that wouldn't necessarily work or cut it. So what if I do focus on for beginners? Okay, that's a much more specific term. And I have actually hit it before. And since I have hit it before, I'm more likely to rank for that. Yeah, it's giving me a 200 score. I'm not able right now to see the search volume for it, but I'd imagine it to be a lot higher than just the other one. And I do rank for it, and I rank number 4 there. Graham Stephan ranks number 3. So I can look at the other things that are ranking, and I can see, okay, 12 best side hustle ideas in 2020. So maybe I would do 21 best side hustle ideas to make money in 2021 because this has 600,000 views. I'm like, I can flip the 12 to 21 because that's actually a different video and it is 2021 and I would just be giving almost double the value. So that makes total sense. Putting numbers, all right, I went with best 5 and I went for beginners. Again, not bad in views, but these have the bigger amount of views. So clearly these larger numbers probably would have done it. And also he went for at every age, and this is an older gentleman. So again, specific context. I'm like, okay, that matters. And then this person said that pay well. I went for best side hustles for beginners who are broke. And so that's a little bit different. And so again, optimizing the title, the description, the tags, this gives me my ideas. And this is how I start kind of the process. And I go, okay, all right, so I think that this would make sense. And I can see the videos and what views they got, so on and so forth, more or less how recent they are. I can see what thumbnails I'm up against. So that makes a certain amount of sense. Nothing really has been on trending for this topic. So, okay, so that's another good place. So I have an understanding of that idea now. Now, something that I can do is I can go and I could go to the topic planner and I could make some notes around this and I could kind of start to map out my ideas and pick different keywords. So again, if I look at YouTube SEO, I have a bunch of different ideas that I've kind of put out for titles that I could have. So this is just kind of a place where I keep notes. All right. So that's how I use the video planner. Here's how I use the SEO studio. If I were going to make a video that I was going to call 21 best side hustles that make like some side hustles in 2021 that pay well, or to make extra money, because I might like that more. That would be the title that I'm going to use. Okay, this is my title, so I'm just going to cut that. But the thing that I'm going to target as far as a keyword is best side hustles. That's my main keyword. Okay, so I'm going to let it help evaluate me off of that. Here's my title though. So right off the bat, this is starting to tell me some really good stuff. Include my target keyword in the title. Check. Include 80% of my target keyword in the title. Check. Include the target keyword in the first 60 characters of the title. Check. Include the target keyword naturally in the title. Check. Include the target keyword in the first 200 characters of the title, of the description. Check. And we haven't written our description yet. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this title and I'm going to play with it a little bit. I'm going to refine it. I'm going to put this title directly into this readability score checker. And I'm going to see how it does and hope for the best. Okay. This title should be easily understood by 12 to 13-year-olds. 7th grade reading level. I'm like, okay, that's not the worst. Can I tweak this title at all? Like, is just a shorter title? Is just less words going to do it? Let's find out. Okay. Less words would make this like plain stupid simple. So the thing is, that's a tough one for me because I don't know if less is more in this case. So the thing is, I would make a note of that. And then I would say to myself, okay, in the future, if this isn't performing very well, I cut the rest of the title off and just make it 21 best side hustles in 2021. Boom. Okay. Now, as far as the description, I'm going to go with this. The 21 best side hustles in 2021 to make extra money. Having a side hustle can help you to earn more money on top of your job. These 21 side hustles, some of the best beginners and anyone who needs to make more money. So that's a natural paragraph that actually makes sense, and it lets us use features from the title multiple times in it, and it's pretty organic. And if you read that as the description of a video, the 21 best side hustles in 2021 to make extra money, having a side hustle can help you earn more money on top of your job. These 21 side hustles are some of the best I could find for beginners and anyone who needs to make more money. That is actually a natural and organic description, and it's not really keyword stuffing, but it is utilizing the keywords that would match the titles and the ideas and things that people would search for. So we know that even in the description, we have things people would search for, like how to make extra money, you know, the word side hustle instead of just best side hustles, so on and so forth. So we know that this kind of ties to the expectations of the viewer, you know, that we have. And so that's why, you know, this would be kind of a good place to start. Like, what do you think so far, Vyyyper, of this process that I've outlined? Oh, Vyyyper just went away for a second. Vyyyper, are you back? You still there?
Yeah, having some camera issues.
Okay.
Give me a second.
Well, while Vyyyper's setting that up, it's like, so like, let me just check the chat real quick. Like, what do you guys think here in the chat? Like, so far, does this process make sense to you? Let's take a chat. Is the free version of TubeBuddy good? The free version of TubeBuddy is actually really good, and it's a good place to start. Work with what you have, like work with what you have in the very beginning. You know, the free version has a lot of great tools, and this could be really help you when it's all said and done. So try the free version. If your channel is monetized, then go ahead and use the paid version. And yeah, Mitch Burns says that these features are in at least the pro version. Yep. But start with the, like, you know, start with the free version. And by the way, drop a like on the stream if you haven't already. Let's see. Just getting some questions here. Is it better to be a personal brand or separate yourself from the brand? It depends on who you are. It depends on like your feelings on things like privacy. It depends on your things like, you know, whether you are shy and you don't want to be on camera. It just really depends on on your personality, whether you want to do that, and your privacy and how your family feels. So just kind of take that all with a grain of salt. There's not right or wrong to that. So yeah, so this is a really good place and a strong place to start. Like I said, as far as the TubeBuddy stuff, I really feel like this can help you in terms of that. So, you know, just kind of take a quick peek at that. This readability tool is called, I think it's called webfx.com has it. And so, like, yeah, when I test by direct output, it just tabs back over to the URL, but it's still giving me the results for the thing that I put in, so it's fine. So yeah, but again, I like testing that readability score sometimes because it can make me make a decision about whether to make a shorter or longer title, you know. But yeah, Vyyyper, like, what are your thoughts on the process I just outlined so far, from going from the Keyword Explorer to going to the SEO Studio?
So it's actually pretty cool because I know vidIQ has a similar feature where if they will suggest certain words that you can use in your description to make your video more search friendly. So it's cool that TubeBuddy has a similar feature where you can do like the keyword SEO. You can like put the keyword title in there, and then it'll help you like craft a description that will make your video more search friendly. So I like it.
Yeah, Morning Fame has something like this as well. Yeah. But I think TubeBuddies works a little bit better because what I like here is I like this checklist. I like this checklist, and I like seeing it light up green and knowing that, okay, I've done it. I've like kind of crafted that. So after this, I might make another paragraph, or I might just go ahead to my default descriptions after this, and then probably my timestamps if it's me. So I would normally do that. Let's see.
Actually, let's go back to that real quick. What are your thoughts on timestamps and using them? Do you think they're a good use, or do you think they matter, or what?
A lot of people are worried that people will skip around on them and stuff like that. If it's a longer video, I actually think they do really well with longer videos, especially since someone will then see that a video is thoughtful and someone's not dragging on. And yeah, some people might skip to the thing that they want, but most people just look at the chapters and kind of gives them a mental reset of like, okay, I want to lead into that next thing, or, oh yeah, I do care about all of those topics. So, I mean, if at the top of your video, you do some kind of summary and then people have those timestamps to navigate to, sometimes it just feels like a next level video in terms of like, this was well done or professionally made. I don't know for entertainment, obviously don't do it for entertainment because people skip to the payoff of the video or whatever. But like for education content, for tutorials, for podcast and everything like that, I mean, it makes sense for the content it makes sense for.
The other thing that
live stream replays.
The other thing that it adds that people don't realize is that it gives YouTube more data. So if you feel like you filled up your tag box or whatever, and you wish you could add more tags, but you can't, putting timestamps in there give you more data to add like more searchable phrases and things like that. So that's another reason to use it.
And the timestamp based stuff shows up in Google for the thing that it is, especially if it answers a question.
Ooh, y'all just got a hack right there. Woo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Roberto, is it possible to get too caught up in SEO? I mean, yeah, people obsess over it and they get the minutiae, but the reason they get caught up in it is they're doing it, and for them, it's about getting views. For me, it's about having the opportunity to get the impressions to the right people, and YouTube putting my content in the right place, and Google picking up my content. So for me, for me, it's a business, and I treat it like one. So I'm doing everything that gives me every opportunity. Because what a lot of people, everyone complains about, I don't have an opportunity. You have a free platform. You have the best tools in the world. You have the biggest access to an audience in the world that's ever existed. But people skip steps and they don't do everything they can to give themselves a fighting chance. And then they complain and they say that YouTube hates them, or it hates small YouTubers, or it's biased, or it does this, or it does that. And they're not doing everything in their own power. And it's the most frustrating thing for me to see people complain about opportunity in the greatest age of opportunities ever exist. And I'm not saying opportunities are equal. I'm saying they're abundant. Like, there's so much freaking opportunity. It's ridiculous at this point. And then people don't do everything they can or become as educated as they can. Most of the education at this point is freely available if you take the time. We're literally giving out massive value in 3-hour live streams that are better than half of the $500 courses out there. Ooh. And people still don't watch them. So I don't ever want to hear anyone complain about free content. Or gatekeeping, or courses being scams. I don't want to hear people complain about it, because there's literally tens of hours of free content that nobody watches. And by nobody watches, I mean literally there are like hundreds of thousands or millions of people that want to be YouTubers, entrepreneurs, blah, blah, blah. And I can find any number of channels that do what I do, give a lot of value for free, and people don't make them go viral. People don't watch that stuff, and then they complain. So like, if people are gatekeeping or paywall stuff and everything like that, it's because people waste time. People waste people's time. So I think, yeah, people get caught up in a lot of things.
I just said the same thing, Benji. Roberto unleashed. So let me answer the question real quick that's been recycled in the chat a couple of times. Carly Thean says, Vyyyper, I uploaded Nintendo 64 content Spanish. I know it's a risky content, but my content is intended for people between 13 to 18. And in some videos, they put age restrictions. Yeah. I mean,
where's that who put that? Vyyyper. Here we go. Yeah. You gotta appeal that content, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, yeah.
I'll drop the link again to the appeals form, but you gotta appeal anything that's potentially age restricted. So I'm gonna drop that link. Appeal restricted mode here. Yeah. Like, I mean, Benji's here from Video Influencers. They do these wonderful long form interviews and even short form interviews with successful creators, people with 100,000, people with 1 million, people with 5 million subscribers, people with million subscribers on multiple channels. And they get great views, but I think they should get more for the number of people that say they want to do this and the number of people who complain and think that they're struggling. Like, there's free information that people don't watch. Like, I know that everyone will watch or buy a YouTube course from Mr. Beast, and that's fine, but like, there's literally so much content out there that could help you. And I mean, Mr. Beast was a small YouTuber. What content do you think he watched when he was trying to figure it out? Like, there was like, his mentor is Daryl Eves. Like, you guys, could watch any of the videos from Daryl. You could buy Daryl's book. It's going to be like $25. It's not. Yep. It's like, there are people who want to help you. There are people in this community who have gotten to 100,000 subscribers. There are people I've coached that have gotten to 100,000 subscribers. There are people who have watched the free content on this channel and have 1 million subscribers today. I'm not going to sit here and name drop, but like, there are people who have done it and they will be happy to tell you about it. Some of them will be coming on the podcast soon to tell their story, because it's not for me to claim anything for their success, but they used things they learned along the way from people who wanted to help them. Like, if you keep thinking that YouTube's against you and it's some special struggle, it always will be.
All right, quick thing. Jeff Gruber says, when you add affiliate links in the description, do you have to check the product promotion box before you upload? No, you do not. Unless there's money exchange, you do not have to check that box off.
Yeah, you don't have to do that. I do that for content that is sponsored, and I disclose it in the description as well. But like, yeah, if you're not taking money for a video, you don't need to do that. Roberto, is this just YouTube SEO? From what I can tell, Google SEO seems to work differently than YouTube SEO. There's a lot of overlap because YouTube and Google both actually use Google RankBrain as far as the back end of their AI system. So the AI is Google RankBrain. So the thing is, that's why also YouTube videos show up as a priority in Google search, and also snippets of YouTube videos show up now in Google search for specific queries. So you are optimizing for both. That's why I do believe, by the way, keywords matter. Hang on, I think Vyyyper's having a technical issue. Vyyyper, what's up with your audio? Yep, sorry about that. Vyyyper's having a technical issue. He'll take care of that in a bit, and we'll be back. But yeah, let's see. Yeah, no, it's technical issues. Don't worry about it. Like, no, it's nothing. That's why. Yeah, no, Vyyyper's not being rude. It's just that there are technical issues. Sometimes life be like that, technical issues. Any YouTuber knows that there are technical issues, and they always come exactly when you don't want them to. It's part of the YouTube life. It's what we signed up for. So it just be like that sometimes. So he's working on it. Don't worry about it. That's why. Yep, still going. I'm gonna have him pop out and pop back in. Yeah, it just happens sometimes. Anyway, like I was saying though, we got the description optimized and we've got our title optimized. This is about roughly like what you would have to do. Now, in terms of tags, like the thing, like I said, like people wonder if tags matter. If you're looking from the standpoint of, will this get me more views? Again, I think that's the wrong way to think about it. I don't think that thinking about, will this get me more views, is exactly the thing. I know that that's why a lot of you are here, and I know that's what you care about. I get it. I'm not knocking that. I'm just saying that I think of it differently. And from what my understanding is in talking to YouTube employees and things like that, YouTube thinks of it differently. The goal here is more about getting the right impressions, which could lead to the views. Okay. So that's what I think we need to focus on. So I think that's about categorization. So for me, obviously I'm going to even look at, like things like, sorting by score over relevancy and things like that. But I already know which things would probably work. So yeah, best side hustles in 2021. Obviously we got to add that one. Best side hustles to make money. I'm not going to go with the misspellings. So again, I can look at the suggestions here, but like these, I'm like, these suggestions aren't necessarily doing it for me. So I'll just do it my way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with best side hustles in 2021, best side hustles for beginners, side hustles, side hustle challenge, in case I ever mention that in another video. Make extra money, make more money, make money online, passive income side hustle, best side hustles for just because, best side hustles any age, side hustles. So, oops, spilt the water there. And then how to make extra money. And then, all right, so I've done some of the things specific to this video. And now I'm going to make some keywords that are specific to me. So I'm going to use Roberto Blake without space, Roberto Blake 2. And that should probably do it. So the next thing I would do is I would upload a thumbnail. So I'll look at the video thumbnails that are kind of like rocking and working for this. I think I actually have a thumbnail that I can export. Welcome back, Vyyyper.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So the next thing here is like a thumbnail, because you can do all the impressions and all the optimization, all the things. But if you don't have a thumbnail that people are willing to click on, like none of it's really going to matter. So in looking at this, the next thing I'm doing is kind of like looking at the thumbnails that are competitive. And so I'm actually going to go into like, I'm going to pull like a thing from like Photoshop that I kind of have on standby. It's not a fully ready thumbnail. It's just a base thumbnail. So I'm just going to export it real quick, and then I'm going to pull it into this. Let's see. Why is it showing up that way? Hang on. It's not doing something right. Give me a quick second. Vyyyper, did you figure out what was going on with your sound there for a minute?
I have no idea. Like, it was registering some type of audio from somewhere, so I had to reboot the computer.
Jesus, man.
I don't know what happened there. Weird.
That's crazy.
Yup.
It's crazy.
Right, why is your screen frozen? Nothing's happening here. What's going on?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Is my screen... Wait, am I?
No, the TubeBuddy screen that you had up there where you were doing the SEO thing is still on there.
It's supposed to be, because I'm getting ready to upload something. I'm getting ready to upload a thumbnail. I'm exporting a thumbnail from Photoshop, but I'm also like, there's some like issue with my export. Like something about it was.
I had the issue today. So before I was really interrupted, somebody, I think it was Niana, in the chat was asking TubeBuddy or vidIQ, and I said both. They're both good.
Exactly. Now, from a budget standpoint, I mean, you could always look into Morning Fame. I know that people are going to be like, oh, you're sponsored, so you're going to say TubeBuddy or whatever. It's like, I prefer TubeBuddy. I have a preference. Calibrate yourself to whatever you think my biases are, or the fact that you might worry about sponsored content or whatever. It's fine. But my point is, you see me using it, so that's kind of an indicator. And then the other thing is, again, you just have to calibrate yourself to the fact that it's like my preference isn't necessarily going to be relevant to your budget. So the thing is, I'd ask you, well, like from a budget standpoint, what's going to work for you? So anyway, this is not exporting perfectly. It still has something in it that like I couldn't get Photoshop to work out or whatever, but like this is a relatively good thumbnail compared to everything else here. It's not perfect yet because I didn't have time. It's just the base. But like, what do you think in terms of that being a competitive thumbnail compared to the rest of these, Vyyyper? Honest opinion.
I can't read that last line of text under money.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't even have that one in there for this one. I just couldn't Photoshop it out in time.
Oh, okay. Other
than that,
looks good.
Like, but for real, are you being real with me, or are you just telling me what I want to hear?
Why? No, it looked good. Why would I?
Okay. Yeah, because again, I'm looking at these other ones and everything like that. It's like my gold standard for thumbnails these days is kind of Graham Stephan, but I wouldn't make the same thumbnail as Graham, and he has a different personality. So I've still got to make a Roberto Blake thumbnail at the end of the day.
So Roberto, let's talk about thumbnails real quick. So I got to ask you, obviously, I was talking to Mr. Beast last night, and I got his philosophy on thumbnails. So I got to ask you, how long does it take Roberto Blake to make a thumbnail?
Well, it's different. Like Mr. Beast will make a thumbnail based on the proportionality of how much money they're spending on a thing. So it's totally different. And then I have a background in graphic design, and like what you need to understand is like, in fact, let me share a different screen. I'll show you exactly the point. Like I can make this point really easily. I am working on thumbnails in a different way than most people because I build thumbnails in advance of videos. I build thumbnails before I ever shoot videos, and I build multiple thumbnails and multiple variations of thumbnails and multiple thumbnail ideas. And I build thumbnails in themes, and I do dedicated photo shoots, and I put temporary photos in that I then swap out with a better pose later. and I do typography blocking that I can change out the words of, but I keep the lockup so that the alignment is there. I do all kinds of stuff. So this is literally a new make money template that I designed, quite literally. Like, we have the YouTube lives that I've designed thumbnails for that I made individually. I'm being a bit extra, Vyyyper. And so, I may not even sit down and make all of these in the same sitting or something like that. I might work on thumbnails as a series over the course of multiple days or something like that. But I'm building them out in series too, and I'm doing photo shoots in series. I did a whole series of photo shoots with camera gear. This one with export settings, I'm probably gonna swap out that pose because I don't necessarily love that neutral pose for that. But I have these other Photoshop or video editing related thumbnails. And I've also decided to combine having cameras in video editing related stuff to point out that I'm shooting and editing. So it's kind of another level of credibility, but also another different thing. And I'm making the style is different too.
Let me rephrase the question. Okay, let's try it from a different angle. Let's say you are going to upload a video in a week's time. And let's say the video is about how to get your first 100,000 subscribers on YouTube or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
So if you know that in a week you're going to have that video uploaded to YouTube, how long do you think it'll take you to make a thumbnail for that video, knowing that that's what you're planning to do a week out?
We'll probably spend 30 minutes shooting photos for that. Probably spend 30 minutes shooting photos for that, and then I'll probably, for that particular video, I'll probably craft 5 different thumbnails, because I won't make one thumbnail for that one. I might make variations, but I also might make companion thumbnails for videos that could follow up that video or that I think might be better. So I have standbys for A/B testing. So I might spend, maybe over the course of the week in prep, I might spend 2 or 3 hours making a series of those thumbnails. But I'm also a really fast graphic designer, and I've made assets already, because I already have cutouts. So I've pre-made so many assets and so many other thumbnails, custom assets, like the YouTube logo. I made a custom version of that. I made that custom YouTube smiley face, a frowny face, an angry face. I have stuff that I've made. So pre-making templates or using templates that you buy or assets that you buy, which is why I'm building a template store now, cut down my time. And also I'm a graphic designer with over 15 years experience. So what I will tell you is I'm spending hours on hours on this. I think if someone's not me and they try to do the same thing and they didn't have resources, that they could take them tens of hours to accomplish the same thing. But I also think that thumbnails that wouldn't take them as long could be more effective, because I'm going for my brand. I want Roberto Blake to be known for thumbnails. So it's a thing. I'll tell you this, the get a job one, this took me 15 minutes.
So that makes sense for you, because like you said, you are an experienced graphic designer and you already have thumbnail templates. So it probably doesn't take you long, because most of the content that you're making thumbnail for, you've already made in some shape or form. Mr. Beast, who makes crazy, outlandish videos that he doesn't know probably what he's going to do, or he knows what he's going to do, but it's not really the same. His content is different pretty much each and every video. He said last night that on average, I think it takes him 72 hours to make a thumbnail. And I was just like, holy ish. Well, not really him, but his thumbnail guy. He has a thumbnail guy.
His thumbnail guy, yeah.
72 hours, dude. Are you kidding me? Damn.
Yeah, that's but he's taking the game seriously, because again, that's the other thing that makes it to where, remember, I have my competitive advantage and Mr. Beast has his competitive advantage. Mr. Beast has the competitive advantage of a 25 to 30 person team. So that's one competitive advantage. Number 2, Mr. Beast has dedicated people for every single potential aspect of a video. That's another advantage that 99% of people will never have, even big successful YouTubers, right? So another definite massive advantage. Mr. Beast has so much data, and he has a mentor and coach and business partner called Daryl Eves, who literally has pooped out 18, 20 gold play buttons at this point. So that's another advantage that most people don't have. And then they have the budgets, and they have the raw material to make the most outlandish content, thumbnails and stuff like that. So again, just remember and put into context, because I love what you said there, Vyyyper, but put into context that Mr. Beast has his advantages that 99.9%, even the top YouTubers don't have. Philip DeFranco doesn't have the advantages that Mr. Beast has. However, that doesn't mean someone can't have their advantages. Peter McKinnon has his years of photography to where he doesn't need a graphic design thumbnail. He has a photography thumbnail. So he has that skill in his favor. Jenna and Justine have each other to play off of that can take photos of them and help them out and so on and so forth for their thumbnails and use their photography and their candid. They've also been on YouTube a very long time, so they have an idea of what their audience likes. So just remember to take it with a grain of salt. I have the advantages of all of my assets, my graphic design background, and a dedicated photo studio that I built in my basement, and the best camera equipment known to man. So like those are a lot of serious unfair advantages.
Oh, he said the best camera equipment known to man.
Yeah, so again, that there are a lot of unfair advantages in that regard compared to someone who doesn't have resources, okay? And that's real. But I also have something for people. I have the YouTube starter kit templates. If you go to awesomecreatoracademy.com/starter kit, like I do have the YouTube starter kit for you guys, and we sell that resource bundle. It has a bunch of graphic templates. I think it has like 80 thumbnails for Photoshop. It has a bunch of YouTube channel banners. It has a bunch of other stuff. We also have my title formulas. I gave you guys, I think, the like 15 or 20 best title formulas for YouTube with 5 examples of each. And I talk about the importance of crafting title formulas. Mr. Beast is kind of like one of the best people when it comes to title formulas. So is Philip DeFranco. If you notice their video titles are literally a formula that they came up with. You know, their video titles have a pattern to them. They're like almost the same titles, like for different series of content.
Did you say Mr. Beast team is 30 deep?
Yeah, Mr. Beast team is like 30 deep.
Holy Lord, wow.
They have somebody dedicated to just the optimization of the YouTube Shorts channel. There's somebody on the YouTube Shorts channel. There's somebody on Mr. Beast Gaming just on terms of optimization for that. They have the thumbnail guy. They have multiple editors. They have multiple camera people. His mom handles the bookkeeping and accounting for the business and stuff like that, and his personal finance, like make sure that like, you know, his stuff is taken care of so that he doesn't have to think about his day-to-day life and living stuff. There's dedicated people to optimization, and yeah. There's logistics people. Like the Mr. Beast team is like 25 people deep.
Ooh, wow. That is major.
With some part-timers on top of that. So yeah.
Yep.
Like, but that's not what you see. What you see is Mr. Beast and like 5 of his friends on camera, and then you don't think about all the fact that literally there's like 5 camera guys on top of that. So you're 10 there, and then there's all the people that help with the cleanup. You realize how much cleanup there is on doing the Mr. Beast? Like there's the people to do that. Like there's people who make sure that everybody's taken care of, hydrated, on standby. There's people that are there to clean up or to be on standby with first aid kits, stuff for the stunts, fire extinguishers. It's no joke. It's like a real freaking TV show.
Literally. Benji said they have algorithm people. Yep.
They do. Yep.
Yeah, I had a few of them in my room the other night. So yeah.
CeeLo, Mario, the gang. Yeah. Chucky. Yeah. Like good team. Good guy. Like, yeah. Like that's next level. Like there's no, I'm going to be the next Mr. B. Like, no, again, but you could, but you'd have to start thinking in a way of how am I going to make something that literally is so difficult to make that nobody else could even do it. No one could even try. It'd be absurd to try. Like, think about it. Mr. Beast throws $500,000 at videos that never get posted because it didn't work out. No one can run at a loss like that. It's impossible. So, like, again, like PewDiePie doesn't do that difficulty level. PewDiePie does daily content. Like the best example of quality versus quantity, there's 2 great examples. I'm going to do a YouTube video about this. There's 2 great examples of quality versus quantity. Mr. Beast and PewDiePie would be examples of quantity versus quality. And then Graham Stephan versus Meet Kevin. Similar content creators that have completely different approaches, but are relatively at similar levels of success. You can go either way. You can either make something that's impossible to make in terms of quality, or you could be more consistent than anybody else is even capable of being by being someone who shows up and delivers good enough or more than good enough quality, but does it every single day without fail. So like, you know, you can make something that is completely spectacle driven, or you can be the most relevant, timely person on consistency. either one is fine.
Yep.
Like either one is completely fine. Watch Mojo is a quantity channel, but a video essay channel like the Nerd Writer would be a quality channel. You know?
Indeed.
So like there's not a right or wrong to that, by the way. It's a matter of, well, what are your resources? Like, what are your resources? Like, you know, PewDiePie doesn't run his channel at a loss. MrBeast runs his channel at a loss. PewDiePie has himself and he has Sive as an editor. Like, you know, he's not running 30 people, 25 people deep, you know? PewDiePie's got a tight ship.
But MrBeast runs his main channel on a loss, but then he has sub channels to funnel into the main
But he
channel.
has to, right? Whereas PewDiePie can focus on one channel.
Yep.
Like, exactly. So it's a matter of like, you got to figure out what would work for you and what's your path and what you want to do and like what your resources are. What your resources are really matter. Also your age. Like the reality is most of us here are over 30. So the thing is we wouldn't necessarily run our channels the way MrBeast does because you would do things differently when you have family, responsibilities, children running around, or you're getting like, you know, older, or you have a professional like approach that you want to have. So you wouldn't necessarily do, that's like one of the things I'm trying to teach people is maybe what you want to do doesn't fit the culture of what you see the biggest, most successful YouTubers doing all the time, but it doesn't mean that's the only way you could ever do something and be successful. It just means that that is a path to success and it is an example of success, but there's definitely more than one.
Yeah. So I also don't want people to think that they can't be as successful with MrBeast. Obviously, you're not going to be MrBeast, but you can definitely attain that level if you really want to do it. Just put in the work and the grind to get there. I mean,
in your own way, on your own terms, because my problem is that people think they have to do it that way. That's what I mean.
No, you can't do it that way. But there are ways you do it. Like I kind of, the reason why I love MrBeast and I love people like him and Ninja and Michael Jordan and things like that, because they are fanatical about being the best of the best and doing the things that they need to do to get to that level. There are sacrifices that need to be made. There is discipline that has to be had. There are plans that need to be made, strategy. There are things that have to go into place for you to get to those levels. You have to be truly dedicated to do that. But you can absolutely do that if you are willing to make the sacrifices and put in the work to be that dedicated. Like I said, MrBeast spends 72 hours making a thumbnail. Your boy Vyyyper spends like maybe 15, 30 minutes at the top, you know? But that's between him and me. He has 50 million subscribers. I got 5,000. But again, if you are willing to put in that work to get to that level, then you can definitely most certainly get closer or get to those levels if you put in the work.
Yeah, well, to a point, because the thing is, I don't necessarily know that, because MrBeast has said himself that he doesn't recommend doing the things he does because he says it would not be physically or mentally healthy for the majority of people, and that he has a like obsession and an obsessive personality, which means that for most people, it would not be like, and he makes it very clear because he acknowledges burnout, he acknowledges like all those things. And I think it's important, and that's why I'm trying to say it as responsibly as possible, because I'm not going to sit here and say, oh yeah, like, and I know you're not saying this, so like, oh, if you work hard, you can be as big as MrBeast if you just work hard enough. And because like people come at me with that stuff and everything like that, and then I have to like not Cobra Kai drop kick them, you know, for doing that, like, you know. But I really, really want to, because they're taking me out of context on purpose so they can, you know, kind of be a victim about it. Because the reality is that you're not going to have a level of that kind of success without doing some extraordinary level of work if you want extraordinary level results. It's just a fact. The people who don't have that level of success, I have never once seen somebody do the things that a successful person did in relatively the order and mean and ways in which they did them, or even close to it, to the extent or to the consistency of it, and like, oh, I don't have success, and then but this person has all this success. I'm like, you do not do and have not done the things that person did, or made the sacrifices that person made, or successful. But you keep saying you worked hard, but there's, oh, I work hard at doing X, and then there's, I work hard at doing Y. You're not going to get the same results, and you shouldn't, and it's fine that it's not, and it's not about fairness, or it's not about like, it's called something called material science. It's called material science. There is no outcome or result that doesn't have a reason for it. That's why I don't believe in luck, Vyyyper. I don't believe in luck because I believe in science. I believe in the laws of inertia. I believe in the laws of equivalent exchange. I believe in the law of conservation of matter. If you look at it, everything that ever happens is a result of everything that transpired before it. Everything that happens is a direct and cumulative result of what transpired before. Nothing more and nothing less.
Luck, Roberto, is preparation meeting opportunity. That is exactly what it is. Like you said, there's no luck to it. Again, things happen because there are events that were set in motion before that to get to that luck moment. Like I said, there's no luck.
Exactly.
If preparation, opportunity, bam.
Exactly.
I love how
that's why, yeah, exactly. That's why I believe in, like, okay, why would that thing happen, right? Why would that thing happen? No success that Jimmy has would have happened without him making YouTube videos.
Yeah.
If he didn't make YouTube videos, he would not be Mr. Beast. So you can't call it luck because he took action. Now, not everyone who makes YouTube videos will be Mr. Beast. I'm saying he couldn't be Mr. Beast without making YouTube videos. There is a difference there, you know? So the thing is, you can't have a viral video that you never made.
Yeah.
You can't have a viral video that you never made. That's not the same thing as saying if you make a video, it will go viral. But you can't have a viral video that you never made.
Exactly. And like, I would equate this to me a little bit because I think about a year or two ago, people used to accuse me of being a clout chaser, but I don't get in those situations if I never made a video, if I don't live stream, if I didn't do the things that I had to do to get to that point where you saw me clout chasing or whatever the hell you want to call it. There was work that was done for me to get into those positions. Okay. So it ain't luck, it ain't clout chasing. It's just things that happened, events that transpired to get to me to that point. So
it's called shooting your shot. It's called shooting your shot. Nina Drake has a question. I love that profile pic and everything like that. That's a very savvy profile pic.
Oh, she's not starting trouble with the question. All right. Let's see. What is your opinion on YouTube Live? How can we maximize this to boost our channels? I'm looking into the best HDMI tethering device like CamLink for my. Okay. All right. Well, 2 years ago, my opinion on YouTube Live would have been avoided at all costs unless you make a separate channel. Today, it's not so bad.
They've made improvements.
Yeah, they definitely made improvements. I would say that if you are considering going live on your channel, if you make regular videos but you have never done a live stream before, you need to make sure that your live stream is on brand with the content that you normally make. You don't want to deviate too far from the content that you normally do. Otherwise, it's not a good look. But yeah, I would definitely suggest going live because going live allows you to make that direct, intimate connection with your audience because you can communicate with them in real time. I have been live streaming for 3 years now, and it's definitely helped me strengthen my relationship with my audience. So I will always advocate for people to go live if they can go live because there is nothing quite like having that one-to-one intimate bond with your audience when you're live streaming. So definitely do that.
Indeed. I agree with that. And I have a whole video that I'm doing about live streaming and how it impacts the channel because it comes down to an effective strategy for live streaming. It's like a lot of people are like, okay, YouTube shorts are hit or miss. But I'm like, okay, but why are we? Because if I analyze them, I think a lot of the ones that miss, a lot of people may not have been really thinking about their audience as much as they were thinking of how they can get a bunch of views off of YouTube shorts. And like my philosophy is to put the audience first. My philosophy is if I do something, how can I say and justify that this is in the service of my audience? How is this in the best interest of my viewer? How does this thing that I'm doing put a potential viewer first? And I try to not make any decision if I can help it, because sometimes you want to do stuff just for you, and that's fine. But I ask myself, how does anything I'm doing put a viewer first? And I make my content from that perspective. And so you know,
I used to
go ahead.
I would say 2 years ago, I asked Nick Nimmin, I'm like, dude, how the hell can you live stream for like 4 or 5 hours every Saturday and get away with it? Because this was back when we all thought that live stream was detrimental to your channel growth. But
well, you mean before they fixed it?
Right, before they fixed it, he was doing live streams every Saturday for like 4, 5, 6 hours at a time. And I'm like, dude, how the hell does your channel like thrive on live streaming, but all of us are like dying? And he told me that his channel thrived because his live streams were on brand. They were on the same level as the content that he normally makes. YouTube tips and tricks. He dedicates every Saturday morning to answering his subscribers' questions about growing on YouTube, which is the content that he was already making. So it was just an extension of that. And because it was an extension of that, his channel kept growing. But besides the whole live streaming thing, his channel kept growing because he never went off brand. So that's why I said earlier, make sure you stay on brand if you're live streaming on your main channel.
Exactly. We did talk about this earlier. Do categories make a difference for your post? For me, I just believe that the categorization of an individual video or your channel as a whole is about making sure that YouTube can analyze it correctly and put it in front of the right people. Again, I wouldn't overthink this. If you're a variety channel, you can put people or entertainment or blog or whatever. But again, I like to try to give YouTube the most accurate information about my content. And again, I'm thinking about that even from the audience perspective of put it in front of the right people. I don't care if it's a smaller group of people, if it's the right people for that video. So I just like, I make everything with that perspective. For me, again, I understand why people want views and why their mindset is about it from oh, will this get me views if I do it? But again, I'm thinking about I want views from the right people because there's no point in somebody clicking on my video, it not meeting their expectations or them not vibing with it from a culture standpoint, and then clicking off my video and me getting bad watch time just to have a higher view count. And then and I'm probably not even getting a higher view count because then YouTube doesn't surface me to impressions anymore. If it does a bad drop off rate, it buries the video. So like, why do that? That's why I don't even believe in like faking people out and clickbait or any of that. Besides it being dishonest, it's just not good. It's not a good business practice to disappoint people. So I'd rather make a video that has less potential views to get all the views that it deserves or the right views, even if it's a smaller amount. I don't make videos thinking, how can I get the most views? I'm thinking about how can I reach the right audience? So I make every choice, the labeling, the SEO, the tags, to try to make sure YouTube has every opportunity to say who the video is for and what's right and put it in front of them. That's the only thing I'm trying to do when I do that.
So somebody said Nick Nimmin live stream too early. What you all don't realize is that what you think is early for you is actually at night for him because he's in Thailand. So when he live,
so it's a 12-hour difference.
It's like 9 p.m. in Thailand when he's live streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, JC Help says he uses 3 monitors for work and he loves it. He's thinking about investing in a live stream monitor like mine instead. And I'm like, it depends on what you want or you need. There are reasons why some people have 3 different monitors. I like the ultra wide setup. I mean, the ultra wide setup for me works out pretty well, and I like it with my whole desk and my whole setup here. So I really enjoy it. I think it works out for me. I think it's been one of the best investments I ever made. But, you know. And then someone else had a point. Not all views are equal. Yeah, I like those high CPM views too. So,
of course.
Yeah. Mr. Beast loves what he does, so he's willing to put in that work and go to those extremes. And he's also in the prime of his life, so that makes a difference too. It's possible that I might have done this differently if I were much, much younger, but on the other hand, that might not necessarily be a good thing. So I don't know. So I got no regrets. But yeah, YouTube Shorts, I think a lot of people are chasing that because they think it's an easier, faster way to virality. I think it can help small channels. So I'm not knocking YouTube Shorts. I'm going to do a video about it. I just think that everything you do, whether it's a YouTube short, whether it's a YouTube live stream, whether it's a regular video on demand, whether it's on a post in your community tab, whether it's a YouTube story, should really be about like, okay, so what's in it for the audience here? Like, what are they getting out of it? Like, why am I making this? What's the reason behind the decision? Or if it's something for you, can you do something for you that doesn't necessarily conflict with the expectations of the audience? Because again, I know we all want to be creators and we want to express ourselves and we want to make our own stuff, but at the same time, it's like we're asking for other people's attention. We got to kind of make them a priority, right?
Far too many times, we as creators, we do not take the creator cap off and put on the viewer audience cap. You would be amazed some of the stuff that might like shock and frighten you that you do as creators that are not very audience friendly. So if you are a creator out there, I would say before you ever upload a video, think about things that you could change in your content that are more viewer friendly. Like if you're running ads or whatever, do you really want to run that mid-roll ad? Could the ad go at the beginning of the video? Are you doing something that can interrupt audience flow or viewer rhythm in your video? These are things that we need to think about as creators because, again, like Roberto said, you're here to serve the audience first. So what I would definitely invite you all to think about the viewer first as you are doing your content and how can you make your content more viewer friendly, and it will work out better for you, I promise.
Indeed. You know, yeah, it's something I think about all the time. It's become kind of my obsession is like, how do we improve like viewer satisfaction? How do we find a way to, again, every time I make a decision, I think, okay, so this is all right. Here's how it benefits me. All right, so great. Now, how does this put the viewer first, and how do I get mine second? You know, like how do I make my content as thoughtful as possible? It's something that I've really been obsessing over. Malevolent Evelyn asked, if the thumbnail isn't landing, how long should you give it before changing it? Like I said, I sometimes have another option on standby for like something in case I didn't think it would do well or something against my instincts. So for me, it's like, well, I look at what's normal and there's kind of a graph that tells you what's like, oh, is your video performing as normal? If it's not performing as normal, but there's nothing else going on, like you didn't upload at a weird time or something, then I would change it right away if I think it's not doing better. But sometimes it's not the thumbnail, sometimes it's the title. So it's like I might even change that first and then the thumbnail second. So that's
Yeah,
my thought.
because it's funny. Renee was in the room with me, of course, last night when we were talking to Mr. Beast, and Mr. Beast will literally go into the YouTube Creator Studio and edit out parts of his video that hurt retention, which kind of blew our mind. Like, wait, what? Like he is fanatical about that stuff. Crazy.
Yeah. Someone asked if is it better to make a separate channel for a particular niche or just to add a playlist series on a channel. It depends on if there's real overlap and not just your ego or like thinking, oh, I don't want to make another channel telling you that there's overlap for the audience. Like if there's real culture overlap for the audience and real topic overlap for the audience, it's okay to have one channel. Or if you're a variety channel, if you want to be a variety channel, if you don't want to make a separate YouTube channel and you want to do everything and be your personality, I'm fine with it, but don't complain about views or about view to subscriber ratios. View to subscriber ratios aren't real, but you also stand to fragment your audience. You stand, and like my channel, I'm okay with that because not everyone here, even though I think everyone should, I think everyone watching a YouTube tips video should absolutely watch a video editing video or a video editing laptop video or a camera settings video or an export settings video. I think everyone here watching YouTube help content should watch Photoshop videos on my channel so they can make better thumbnails. I think everyone here should watch Make Money Online videos so that when they have a bad month in AdSense, they're not worried about rent money. I think that every single one of my videos serves people who are trying to be part of the creator economy, which is why I changed my banner to say that. So if you're trying to make money on the internet, even if you think your answer is YouTube, which could just build your brand and then maybe you make money through another means, I think that you should watch every single one of my videos. I think there's no reason for anyone watching this live stream to skip a Roberto Blake video. That's me personally, but I believe that because I crafted my videos that way. However, if you're a master video editor, you're probably not going to watch a video editing video. But if you're not a master video editor, you should watch every video I make about video editing. If you're a master thumbnail creator, then you can skip those videos. But if you're not, you shouldn't. But I'm not going to make that decision. You're going to make that decision. So I know that I'm going to have a fragmented audience that watches tutorial videos that may or may not care about being on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, or LinkedIn. I know that I'm going to have YouTube creators who aren't going to care when I make a LinkedIn video because it hasn't occurred to them yet that by building a YouTube channel, they're building a media company, and it hasn't occurred to them yet that everybody they would ever need to contact to get a brand deal for $5, $10, or $20,000 is a contact that they need to have in LinkedIn. It doesn't occur to people that brand deals go down in LinkedIn. It doesn't occur to them that looking up the people's emails that you need to send in the request to pitch the marketing manager at the brand that you want to work with, that you need to have a profile on LinkedIn. It doesn't occur to YouTubers, so they skip my LinkedIn videos. And it's an ultimate hack to make $100,000 a year if you do it right. But no one's going to watch that because it said LinkedIn instead of YouTube. So you see what I'm saying, Vyyyper? It's like you can make whatever you want. You have to accept the consequences that go with the fact that the audience may not get it or may not click on it or may not meet their expectations. And then you just live with that. And then you live with having a big subscriber number and a lower view number sometimes. And it's just how life be like that sometimes.
Did any of y'all catch that? Did any of y'all catch that? Because that was a lot of coming at y'all like 200 miles an hour, but it was absolute true. I have been in clubhouse rooms where they talked about LinkedIn and how critical LinkedIn is and how awesome it can be for creators, especially on YouTube. So when Roberto says that you can absolutely land brand deals and things like that on LinkedIn, he's not kidding. I've heard this stuff. This stuff is real. So hope somebody caught that.
Yeah, and Venga Dragon has a point that a fragmented audience wouldn't matter if they're engaged. That works if you're like, it works on your personality. if you're like PewDiePie, that may be true. Or if you're Catherine Manning, like her personality can do that. Her personality can carry over. Not everyone has that personality. So it just depends on your personality. Like not everyone's like that. So it's possible. I'm not going to say it's not. I just like, I'm also speaking from experience of like Vyyyper might be able to pull that off. Not me. Like I don't have the personality that can cross over to certain things. Like that's just how it is. Vyyyper could do that though.
You are too kind.
For real, you have a very dynamic personality. You have a very dynamic and charismatic personality. You have this really great energy. I'm much more introverted. I'm snarky and I'm sarcastic. I'm not for everybody. And like someone said earlier, like some people think that I'm a pill or I'm a tool or I'm arrogant, but I'm useful, so they put up with me. So it's fine. Like, so it's not everybody's personality. So there are things that there are things in your brand or in your audience or in your niche or your whatever where the problem won't always be in the limitations of your content or even your strategy, but in how people relate to you and your delivery.
Okay. So I have had the pleasure of meeting you in person and seeing you in action in person. So when you say you are introverted, I believe you and I understand it, but there's introverted, there's extroverted, and then I believe there's a third category called ambivert. So
I have ambiverted tendencies.
I have seen you get crowded around by a group of people talking to you at Vid Summit. So I don't know if I would call you a full-on introvert because
you're not accounting for the fact that I don't feed off of it. It drains me.
Even that small group of people drains you? I think it's like 5 people I saw you like huddled around you.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It does, but it's like, but I have a high level of stamina. That's not everybody though. Like there's a spectrum to introversion. And like me and my friend Amy have talked about this. Like both of us, it's like, because after those things, like you notice that I don't post videos after I come back from a conference. I'm wrecked for like a week.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Like, you know, like I have to completely rebuild and recharge after I come back from a conference. Like, and then I don't post for like a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks sometimes. Like I have to completely reset and rebuild like right after all of that exposure.
Interesting. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. Like it's just like a different thing. It's one of those things. It's just like someone in the chat said that you can appear extroverted, but the reality is that you're exhausted. Like it's just that you saved you're being exhausted and you're being completely drained for after you've like accommodated everybody, because you know. And then with speaking and with like having an audience, you're just really super grateful and you don't want to like blow people off and you don't want to disappoint them. So it's like you grind it out. But that doesn't mean that you didn't take the damage by grinding it out. It's no different than if like you go and you hustle at work, you put in 110% and everything, you clock out and everybody's like patting you on the back, and then you clock out, you go home and you're like dead to the world. You're like, you don't want to, like you walk by everybody, you go straight into the dark and you just like put your head under the pillow and you're done. You know, like that's how it is. Like, so it's the thing, it's like actually in general, it's a good metaphor for YouTube. It's all the things that people don't see that goes behind an outcome. It's just like, again, like think about everything we showed people, the behind the scenes of like how much detail there is in keyword research, checking on your channel to see if your stuff hit restricted mode, appealing things, waiting for an approval to see if something didn't get copyright, if you do stuff that relies on copyright, do like, you know, fair use. There's like so much that happens before someone pushes publish on a video that people don't see. Just like people didn't know like Mr. Beast has like 20 people behind what he does. Like, you know, you can't just do it. So like, just like with the introvert thing, it's all the stuff that people don't see behind the scenes.
Ain't that the truth?
Mm-hmm.
So much that people don't see. A lot of people think that we just come on camera and we're hit record and upload. No. There's research. There's filming, editing, promoting, SEO. I mean, oh my Lord. Yeah.
Oh right. Yeah. The SEO. I mean, think about, we just talked about like most people don't realize, again, people could put tens of hours into just a thumbnail. Like I do dedicated photo shoots like every other week to have material for the thumbnails. I have to come up with concepts and say, okay, in case I ever do a video that requires a laptop pose, and I sit there and I study other YouTubers' poses and I go, okay, I need to make a bunch of these different faces to have options. Oh, I need some with this shirt or this hat or this thing, and I do wardrobe changes. I like for thumbnail, I've got to do some more poses. I don't have enough poses with the YouTube play button. Oh, some of those didn't come out as sharp. I got to go down to the basement and reshoot them or whatever. It's like, oh, we got to do this. Oh, I've got to set up and I've got to find an angle so that the light doesn't reflect off the laptop so I can Photoshop out the screen later or something. I have to do these thought out conceptual photo shoots every other week to have material just for the thumbnails, so I don't have to do it the day that I'm making a video. And sometimes I still have to do it the day I'm making a video, because sometimes I have an idea for, oh, this will be the perfect thumbnail, and I haven't done a photo shoot for it. So like, and then a video might get delayed based on that. Then God forbid all the work that goes into the revisions behind videos for brands when you have to do brand deals. It's like that's the worst. So there's like, you know, there's a whole thing. Thank you for that one. Unless the word's arrogant has changed meanings, you're not arrogant. Yeah, I think people conflate the word arrogant sometimes with what they think the word conceited means, and they throw either or both of those words at me, and it is what it is. People feel how they feel. I'm not here to validate people's feelings when they don't add up to facts.
Oh man, I love it. That man just said he is not here to validate your feelings. I love it.
I mean, not when they don't add up to facts. There's a real thing to that. I think that's like a big problem, because here's the thing, like, we get in our feelings about as creators sometimes, and then the fact is that there are things that the system has said will work and won't work. Our audience has told us in facts and in data. You talk about this too, data-driven decisions. Our audience is telling us something, and then we get in our feelings and we don't like do it, and then we complain, you know? And the fact is, the audience already showed us what they would and would not respond to. And the thing is, that can surprise us sometimes. There are videos that I go, oh, no one will care, this will flop, and then it does really well. And I'm like, oh, wow, I guess the audience is telling me that they agree with me on this, or they like this. So I'm like, good, I have permission to do more of it. Great. Like, there's things that the audience tells you in the things. Like, again, when I realized, oh, if live streams won't hurt my channel if I do them this way, or I title them, or I do this, or I do this extra work, like, and it's like, oh, and then here comes the data. Like, people loved the live streams. I was like, well, how can I get more reach or more views on the live stream? So I did the work to make that happen. I think that YouTube Shorts will be the same thing when I figure out YouTube Shorts. It'll be some trial and error, but the audience will tell me which way to go on that, or tell me whether it's a bad idea. The audience will ultimately decide what works for them, and I'll choose to either keep pushing against that until I reach a new audience, or I'll move in the direction that the audience says works the best for them for our mutual benefit. And that'll be that. There's so much that you can find that's close enough to truth in data, and instead people go looking for it in their feelings. Like, and I think that that's the mistake.
Roberto. You know what I would love to see, Roberto?
That.
So you are eventually you're gonna do some YouTube short, and I would love to see you do some YouTube short, but not just any old YouTube short. No. I remember, I think it was like a couple of years ago, you did a video rant, and the backup was taxing while you're on your way to the airport. I would love to see some YouTube shorts of you ranting about this, that, and the other. That would be epic.
I think if I do rants, they'll be more motivational rants, because the thing is, I think that it's been harder to get in the past. I like doing motivational content. I really love it, actually, but in the past it's been harder to get traction on it, even though I incorporate a motivational message into the regular content. That's what ultimately worked, but making purely motivational videos did not work, even though I enjoy it. So I think the YouTube Shorts, I think I can do some information, quick 60-second info dump videos on a specific thing, or even some quick 60-second Photoshop videos. I think 60-second Photoshop has a place. I really do.
I don't know, Roberto. People are agreeing with me, bro.
But I'm saying I can do motivational rants. I know people the audience will decide, right? So I think motivational, guys, let me know if motivational rants will work for you guys. But
let's go, baby, let's go.
But I think that motivational rants as YouTube's shorts would do well and have a place. And I think they also have replay value, because again, I need that Monday morning motivation. I need that. So I think there's replay value in motivational rants. So I think that could be a thing. And I think that could have a good, strong place on the channel, both as regular content and in shorts. Because the thing is, I would want it to work for regular content and shorts. Now, for the music channel, we have an absolutely killer YouTube short strategy for the music channel. Like I could talk about that either now or I could talk about it later. I think actually we're going to wrap it up. I think we're going to wrap it up. We've been almost 4 hours, and the LinkedIn kind of like screws up at 4 hours anyway. So like, but Rizzy Painting, thank you for the $50 super chat. You're a champ. Vyyyper, the man about tech, drop emoji, voiceover too close. Awesome energy, good dude. Roberto Blake, you gents need a paint job around your house. We've got you. No problem. Thanks for the free knowledge. Thank you, man. Thank you. When I, like maybe I'll hit you up when I move in about 9 months to 18 months. We'll see what happens. I have to look at the housing market. I don't know what's going to happen with COVID. I kind of want to buy a house. I also don't want to move. I could get this place, but they would have to fix the roof and finish the basement. It's a whole mess, Vyyyper. I have to, as I love my office so much, I don't know that I want to move, but I also don't, I want to stop paying rent. I want to stop paying rent. I want to pay a mortgage instead. I want to own it, but I don't know if I want to buy this place unless I can get a lower price, a better roof, and a finished basement. It's a lot of haggling. I just, like, and then the market right now in Atlanta is just, it's all messed up. Thank you, COVID. COVID ruins everything.
Well, we are approaching 3 hours, 38 minutes, and 35 seconds. So I want to thank each and every one of you all for hanging out with us live today. It was a pleasure hanging with you all, answering your questions, having conversations. Hopefully you all got something out of this live stream, which I know you did, because whenever me and Roberto get together, it's usually fire being dropped, and today was no exception. So thank you all for hanging out. We appreciate y'all, but we are going to get
indeed. Yeah, indeed. I think as we wrap up, I mean, because we're pretty much wrapping up now and we're closing out, like, Vyyyper, is there anything that you think we didn't cover with regard to like the search and the SEO stuff? Because like, I think I really did hit it with the title, the description, the tags, the thumbnail, and like we did talk about restricted mode and those issues. Like, is there anything you don't think we did cover with regard to the keyword research and the SEO stuff?
Dude, I think we literally covered every inch of it. I mean, in 3 hours and 38 minutes, I mean, there's not much we missed, if anything. So I think we hammered it, bro. We hammered it.
Okay. Like, if you guys do have questions, make sure that in the replay, you drop them in the comments, because I might try to make like a 20-minute tutorial, at least from the TubeBuddy side, as far as how to use Keyword Explorer or the SEO Studio or something like that. I'll figure something out. So I might make a tutorial. I won't cut this down. I'll just like make a fresh tutorial, and I'll make sure that if there are questions, I try and answer them. I also might make like a 10 tips or a 5 tips for SEO video. So like I have some SEO stuff that I can make that's short and sweet for you guys. I really hope you enjoyed this deep dive and seeing the analytics, the back end, all that good stuff. Vyyyper, if you don't mind, real quick before we do close out and go, I think I'd like to show them some of the analytics and data from the music channel.
Your thing, man. But somebody tell Benji Travis that he's up next on Sunday. Him and Roberto have a date next Sunday morning or afternoon to review some channels. And
yeah,
we'll
do it live.
So he better not forget. I know where he clubhouse is at.
Yeah. No, we'll do it live.
Yeah.
We'll do it live. Let's see. Let me do this. Let's see. Share screen. Let's see. Oh, here it is.
Before you get into all that,
okay, hang on. Mm-hmm.
I just want to say that Roberto literally changed my life this year, you all. When he first asked me to come on stream and do channel review with him and things like that, I was like, why are you asking me? I got like 5,000 subscribers. I'm brand new at this practically. But Roberto, as you all know, he's a very smart individual, and he invited me on the stream with him because he figured I would be able to add value in. I think when we first got together about a couple of months ago, we went like 5 hours, like answering you guys some questions and things like that. And I was kind of amazed at myself because I was able to provide value on that particular stream. And ever since that stream, I found myself in situations like on other streams with him. I've been in clubhouse rooms on stage and YouTube rooms providing value and things like that. And it has literally changed my life because it's allowed me to interact and meet people that I never would have had the chance to interact and meet before that day that he asked me to come on stream with him. So shout out to Roberto Blake, man. The dude is so damn intelligent, and I'm humbled that he actually wants me on stream with him to help you guys out. So thank you, sir. seriously appreciate you, man. Seriously.
Thank you, Vyyyper. And like the thing that I wanted to show people, even with bringing you on, is I wanted to teach people that there is a value to the small YouTuber perspective, and that it can be respected, and that there are people smaller than you and even larger than you that can learn from your experiences and things like that. I mean, think about how much you've been able to help people with us being able to bring light to the restricted mode issue. Think about it. How many like big channels and big YouTubers have not even understood? Like, I know people with 1 million subscribers that had no idea about restricted mode and what was going on, what was happening to them. Like, they're like, you know, you can be successful and not know everything. I can be successful and not know everything, you know. And I didn't even know about the multiple appeals on the, you knew something I didn't know. You knew something I didn't know. And that's the thing. If you have a true sense of like, humility isn't about like, you know, like saying, oh, my success is luck, or, oh, I'm no better than you and everything. No, humility is about listening. Humility is about being willing to learn from other people. It's nothing about not showing off or any of that thing, or not flexing, or not claiming your credentials, or not reading your resume. That's not what humility is about. Humility is about being able to and willing to learn from other people, and realizing that even if you are very smart about something, you're very dumb about something else, and being able to accept that, being willing to be a lifelong learner. That's all the humility that is truly required. You don't have to go out and you don't have to pretend to be fake woke. Okay. So like, understand, like, and again, I know there's people who don't like that and don't like me saying that, and they're going to try to make you and pressure you to be fake woke. So that's fine, whatever. But my point is that I love having Vyyyper here because I love the value that he really adds. I really think that there's a lot to be learned from people, and that there's this culture where the big sub count overshadows the thing being said. It's why, again, I understand some people really rejecting the idea of sub counts mattering, because we're both creators. We have both valid experiences. Just because Vyyyper has 5,000 subs and I have 500,000 subs doesn't mean he can't give value to people in this community. He's given value to me. There are things that, looking at a smaller YouTube channel's perspective, really actually is very helpful in trying to communicate ideas or things that are complicated. I've talked to Vyyyper more than I have any other YouTuber. I know people with 10 million plus subscribers, and I talk to Vyyyper more than I talk to them, because it keeps me sharper. It keeps me a lot sharper, and it gives me a different point of view that I might not have. And I think that it's valid. And then again, he gets to express himself in a different way here that he doesn't get to on his channel. And I'm all for it. And I love having other creators on the channel. I love having, yes, other YouTube experts like Daryl Lees and Benji Travis, but I want to have more creators that can just talk about their experiences and their niches too. I want to have Viva la Difference, you know? So like, you know, I appreciate you, homie. I really do. I mean, you take like 3-4 hours out of your freaking Sunday, you know, to just be here. So thank you.
No doubt. Yeah, T. I am tell you again, man, stop being shy. I appreciate you jumping in the thumb room, T. I see you, baby. I see you.
Yeah, no, I think more YouTubers should give their experience. You don't even have to think of it as giving advice as much as just sharing your experience, you know? Like, that's all it really comes down to. It comes down to the fact that it's like, you don't have to be an expert or claim to be an expert or care about that. Like, I didn't even come in and say, oh, I'm the expert and stuff like that. When I started doing any of this, I just said, hey guys, I'm seeing something. And some of you were saying, hey, I'm growing fast. I don't know what fast is. Like, so here's what I'm doing. Like, and see if it works for you. That's all I ever did. Like, so speaking of which, here's the new channel. The new channel, Zenbuster Music. Sub count is being hidden right now because it's a music channel. It's a faceless channel. So what we're doing right now, and this is really dope. A video that I dropped, I think yesterday, we've got 24 hours of watch time on it, 300 views, which doesn't sound like a lot, but because it's a music loop, it's pretty strong on that. Now, the interesting thing is, yes, I did promote it in my community tab, but I promoted it on my community tab for this channel. I think music channels actually get the community tab sooner than other channels, believe it or not, which is different. Music channels also get a lot of different features. So I'm trying to figure out where some of these other views are coming from, and I think it might be music Reddit groups. excuse me, but the watch time on it is the thing that matters for a music channel, and it's going to really promote the impressions. And see, the thing is, this one really performed, and I'm really convinced that it's the thumbnail, because it doesn't seem like it has a high click-through rate for the thumbnail, but impressions for a music channel. What's up?
I'm looking at those impressions, man.
Exactly. This was like yesterday. And again, this is a music channel, but again, that's why I've started to realize the watch time thing for the impressions is what's real, because this watch time, this is why it's getting the impressions. This is why. You see what I'm saying?
No doubt. Yep. There you go.
But with music, like, and something that you can listen to in the background for an hour, and something that has a dope thumbnail, because like that's, you know, that's a, hang on, let me go back. It's a pretty dope thumbnail. Let me get to the dashboard here real quick. That's annoying. Anyway, it's like, it's a dope thumbnail because it's got the whole, you know, it's got the whole samurai thing going for it, and it's got all the colors and all the vibes. Like, so there's like a whole thing where that, why is this social blade thing? This is a freaking annoying. Anyway, I think I can get around it with this whole social blade, man.
You about to cancel social blade, yo.
Like, it's bad enough that they report my like ad revenue as being a fraction of what it actually is. Christ. Anyway. And I don't hate them. I pay for their service, believe it or not. So, but like sometimes the shade be real. But anyway.
Oh man.
But the thing is, I want to show you guys this watch time, because like watch time is what triggers impressions. People have asked, well, okay, click-through rates is one thing. How do I get more impressions? It's like the watch time performance will do it, my friends. It's like, it's real. It's like, it's crazy. There's a video on this channel that's doing really well. It has 13,000 views, and it was almost all suggested. It's almost all suggested. I'm going to drop a link to this channel in the chat if you guys want to check out the music channel. It's youtube.com/Zenbuster. Called Zenbuster Music. We have a 24-hour lo-fi live stream too. But yeah, it helps to get to 1,000 subs. Let's get monetized. but here's the thing. Like the listeners of this are not Roberto Blake fans. They're, because again, the unique, I'll show you something unique. Like unique viewers. There's 11,000 unique listeners for this lo-fi song. This one song had 11,000 unique viewers, Vyyyper. Now, those didn't translate to subscribers because, again, music is different, because I got 80 subscribers off of that. But, again, I'm going to show you something crazy. This thing is worth 25% of the watch time I need to get monetized was off of this one song. Look at that watch time, Vyyyper. 1.2 thousand hours.
Ooh, wow.
So I got 1,000 of the 4,000 hours off of one song.
Video. Yeah.
Off of one song. And the thing is, again, it's a loop. So it's like the amount of watch time on it is crazy, even though the average viewer duration or that percentage looks low. It's because it's music. It's different. So let's look at the impressions, though. Look at that. See what I'm saying, though? It's about that watch time.
Jesus.
Exactly. This channel doesn't even have 1,000 subscribers. You see what I'm saying? It's look at the algorithm. Look at the algorithm.
It doesn't even matter if your impressions are that high. Who cares?
Right. And look at suggested videos. It's suggested videos. Man. And it's music. It's suggested videos. Man. This is the secrets of the algorithm. This is the whole thing. This is like, see, this is why I like learning, and this is why, again, I'm getting super great data and understanding of certain aspects of suggested and other traffic sources by having this smaller channel and watching what it does with faceless videos. Because remember, when I have faceless videos, I can dissect the algorithm much more objectively because I don't have the subjectivity of personality to interject into the data. It's depersonalized data.
Yep.
So there's no bias. So like with this, there's no bias. That means that I can study YouTube in a completely different way. Oh, someone's asking about where we got the music from. I paid to have Frost FM produce this music in-house. I paid lots of money to have these original tracks made. There's like, I think almost 12 tracks on the channel now. We have another 12 we're dropping before long here because we made an entire Zodiac album. So we got 12 songs of the Zodiac coming. It's going to be really dope. So like I paid money and I'm splitting royalties on Spotify with Frost FM to be my in-house producer. So we're doing a completely original music. Everybody else does music covers and they sample music from other people, other artists. We might do that down the road, but I want to build a foundation of like 30 or 50 original tracks, and they're all copyright free, by the way. So you want to check out youtube.com/zenbuster. It's copyright free music, lo-fi for nerds. And so, yeah, we're doing completely original music right now. We might do some retro gaming covers later to boost the channel and to get attention for our original music. But, and that'll be original too, but it'll be covers. But yeah, like that's what we're doing right now. And I'm investing money in this. I'm willing to spend in the first year of this brand, I'm willing to spend up to about $10,000 or $12,000 to build this brand from scratch. Mm-hmm. So Ralph says, 2 weeks ago, you reviewed my channel and I wondered why my videos weren't gaining views. I listened to your advice and I hit 1 million impressions and gained 4K subs. Nice, Ralph. Congratulations. I'm glad that that worked out just from that channel review 2 weeks ago. Jeez.
There you go.
That was Ralph Castaneda. I think you remember that review, Vyyyper, that we did.
Probably. I don't
like
remember.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's dope. Congratulations, Ralph Castaneda. That is dope. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. That is dope. 4K subs in 2 weeks is a big deal. And getting that many impressions, that's a big deal. But yeah, this blows. Doesn't this kind of blow your mind, Vyyyper, that this is possible for a channel of that size?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty impressive. I'm a little upset right now, though. I don't know how good of a barometer I'm gonna be.
No, you're all good, man. But yeah, I think that's it for the. I think that's it for showing some of the back end of this. I mean, once we're monetized, I'll definitely do more deep dives into this. But I just want you guys to know that even if you have a small YouTube channel, and Vyyyper's, I mean, a testament to this as well. If you have a small YouTube channel, then there are things that are possible. The algorithm isn't hating you. It's just a matter of there are sometimes it will bless you, but it's for a reason. It's all for a reason. And that reason has a lot more to do with the viewer than anything else. So every decision you make that puts a viewer in mind will aid you if you want to feel like it's a struggle against the algorithm. Well, putting the viewers first will aid you in that battle. I think that's a good place to leave it, man.
Yep.
All right, y'all. We appreciate y'all. Thank you for taking the time. Links, as always, are in the description down below. Next week, I will be hanging with the one and only Benji Travis, co-author of YouTube Secrets and host of Video Influencers. Again, I want to thank my boy Vyyyper. I'm going to make sure I edit the description so we link to you. But again, only subscribe to Vyyyper if you're going to watch tech videos about Apple products. Do not mess them up in the algorithm. Do not give them an empty sub. If you are going to watch Vyyyper, then subscribe to Vyyyper, the man about tech. But do not mess with the algorithm and do not go to that channel and hit subscribe unless you're going to watch videos. Do not do that. Empty subs don't work.
Yeah, don't
just
do that,
saying.
Please. Don't do that.
Yes, do not do that. Same thing for Zenbuster Music. If you guys want to go to youtube.com/Zenbuster, if you want to check out some copyright-free music and you want to enjoy some original beats, then you're welcome to do that as well. All right, you guys, stay awesome. We'll catch you on the next one. Take care.